Diocese is agreeing to pay $1.4 million to settle a lawsuit filed by three men who claim they were sexually abused by a Catholic priest as children. The suit claims the Reverend Leonardo Matteo sexually assaulted the man on various occasions in the 1980s. Right now, the diocese does not have to admit wrongdoing for allowing Matteo to practice at Immaculate Conception Parish in Elmhurst, where much of that alleged abuse took place. A group of teens accused of causing chaos this week in Chicago's Wrigleyville neighborhood. 10 teens are charged with mob action. Police say the group assaulted, battered, and threatened several and businesses in the area following Wednesday's Cub game. Mayor Emanuel says he will add more safe passage routes before next week's first day of class for the Chicago Public Schools. A new set of federal prosecutors will handle the case against former Illinois Congressman Aaron Schock from here on out. The Justice Department yesterday removed a team of Central Illinois prosecutors from the case. It's a rare move, but the latest in a series of twists in that case against the former Republican from Peoria continue. Earlier this month, the judge in that case was reassigned after emails showed he communicated with federal prosecutors. There are more questions than answers this morning about a massive brawl in Moline. Moline Coal Valley High School superintendents sent a note to parents explaining that several fights in the school on Wednesday grew into a massive brawl outside of the school later that afternoon. Moline police say up to 100 were fighting in the streets just off the city's uptown neighborhood. The University of Illinois will honor President Barack Obama for ethics in government. University yesterday announcing it plans to award and honor the former president with the Paul Douglas Award for Ethics in Government. The president will receive the honor next Friday. Tickets will not be available to the public. Tommy La Stella drilled a pinch hit, go-ahead home run in the sixth inning. Cubs edge the Braves 5-4 in a makeup game at SunTrust Park. Red Sox score five ninth inning runs. They rallied to beat the White Sox 9-4 at Guaranteed Rate Field. That was after Lucas Giolito left the game. He struck out 8 over 6 1/3 innings of one-run ball. Cubs begin a 3-game set against the Phillies tonight in Philadelphia, while the White Sox continue their series with the Red Sox. Bears finished the preseason 2-3. Losing 28-27 to the Bills at Soldier Field. Chicago led 27-3 entering the fourth quarter before Buffalo scored 25 unanswered. Jeremy Larkin rushed for 143 yards and 2 scores on 26 carries, helping Northwestern beat Purdue 31-27 in the season opener in West Lafayette. Illinois football kicks off the 2018 regular season tomorrow against Kent State. NIU will take on the Iowa Hawkeyes here on AM 560. The news, a service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Use your power to cure and pedal with a purpose at Spin for Crohn's and Colitis Cures. Grab some friends and join them for this high-energy indoor cycling event. It benefits the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Visit spin4.org to learn more. 5:09. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Precision Payroll of America, Automated Systems Incorporated, and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Freak yeah, Jimmy John's.
Freak yeah, what if I just needed one sandwich delivered?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 100 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 24 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
67 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
67's a prime number.
Freak yeah, a whole number greater than one whose only factors are one in itself, I know.
Great. I'll take one turkey tom, please.
Freak yeah, one turkey tom, on the way.
Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah!
Famous Winston Churchill quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Winston Churchill wisely stated, "A nation that forgets its past has no future." This surely resonates with at least one of our major political parties in America.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit automatedsys.com.
It's 5:12 on AM 560. Time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal 800-421-SEAL, and time to check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Very latest for us this morning with Jim Talamonte.
Good Friday morning, Mike. Humboldt Park area. A fire has been extinguished. It's a multi-alarm apartment blaze in the 3200 block of West Augusta. Crews are still there at the scene. Cleanup and investigation. And Augusta remains blocked off. Sacramento and Grand Avenue. On the expressways, we have some delays as well. I-57 inbound heavy Holstead to the merge after some road work. Just about a 2-minute delay right now. I-80 has cleared up. Some earlier work in the Manuka area. There's a little work on the outbound ride. 87th split again today, so prepare to slow down in that work zone. Right now, traffic is light in that area. Number of closures around the area for weekend festivals, including in Jefferson Park, Taste of Poloni, and in Naperville for Last Fling. Metra has an early getaway scheduled today on all three Union Pacific lines, as well as the BNSF. And in fact, all of the Metro lines, really, as folks will be leaving work early today. So there'll be fewer trains coming out of downtown early in the afternoon, more leaving early in the afternoon, fewer later. Traffic service of Compassion International. Can't change the whole world. You can be part of the change in the world for a child living in poverty by becoming a Compassion International child sponsor at compassion.com/radio. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Increasing clouds today with a high 80, then a mostly cloudy night, low 71. Humid day tomorrow, couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 84. Showers and a thunderstorm mainly early at night, low 70. Then a shower or thunderstorm around again Sunday, high 86. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
61 at O'Hare, 65 along the lakefront. It is 57 this morning in Lansing, 56 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You're getting prepared for your extended Labor Day weekend. The eulogies are in for John McCain. You expected more or less what you heard from the politicians. The fun one was NFL great and former Arizona Cardinal Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he's, wide receiver star, became friends with John McCain and talked about, how odd they look juxtaposed next to each other, standing next to each other. But what great friends they became.
Same hair.
Oh, exactly. And he mentioned the hair.
I wanted to see the places where the will. He ran for president. I run out of bounds. He was the epitome of toughness, and I do everything I can to avoid contact. I have flowing locks, and well, he didn't. How does this unlikely pair become friends? I've asked myself the same question. But do you know what the answer is? That's just who he is. Over the several years, I had the privilege of spending time with Senator McCain. Sometimes it was just a visit to our practices. Other times it was him texting and saying, "Oh, you need to pick it up this Sunday." I'm thankful that through these moments, the opportunity that we had to share our lives, and more importantly, our stories. While from very different worlds, we developed a meaningful friendship.
And when he died, because he knew obviously that he was dying, he wanted Larry Fitzgerald to speak at his funeral. They became such close friends that Larry Fitzgerald actually went back to Vietnam, to the Hanoi Hilton, to see where John McCain was imprisoned.
I wanted to see the places where the will of John McCain was tested and forged. I saw the lake. I walked the steps. I sat in the cell. And the ordeal that my friend survived became all the more real. Many people might wonder what a young African-American kid from Minnesota and a highly decorated Vietnam War hero turned United States Senator might have in common. Well, I thought of a few. I'm black, he was white. I'm young, he wasn't so young. He lived with physical limitations brought on by war. I'm a professional athlete.
It was, and then they just, in the end, they were good friends, and he wanted him to speak at his funeral, of course, and Vice President Joe Biden spoke, and that turned political a little bit.
All we do today is attack the oppositions of both parties, their motives, not the substance of their argument. The last day, John was on the Senate floor. What was he fighting to do? He was fighting to restore what we call regular order.
Yeah, get rid of
to
Joe
start
Biden.
To treat one another
Tired
again,
of Joe Biden,
like we used to.
Stupid politician.
All we do today.
Larry Fitzgerald, nice moment. Politicians and their pablum and politicizing and talking about his political record. It's a different story. Larry Fitzgerald was always a class act in the NFL, and it was fun to hear him give a personal account of a relationship with John McCain, because that's where I'm going to keep my focus. Because when you get into his political record, it's you got to be honest about it, at least from the perspective of a conservative. I certainly will be. So I like to think of the words that Larry Fitzgerald had to say.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And Senator McCain's going to lie in state at the Capitol from 1 to 8 o'clock this evening, and then there's going to be a funeral service on Saturday, and then a final burial on Sunday. Also, Aretha Franklin's being buried today. She's having a costume change, her third costume change in her casket. Started with a red dress, gold dress, and today she's going to be wearing a gown. Forecast.
She's the original diva. You'd expect nothing less.
It was awesome. 5-inch stiletto heels. Today, sunshine giving way to clouds, a high of 83 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy. It's going to be warm and humid, a low of 71. Saturday and Sunday look like this. Saturday, mostly cloudy, warm and humid, a couple of showers and thunderstorms, a high of 84. On Sunday, more of the same. We can't rule out a shower or thunderstorm, a high of 88. And on Monday, Labor Day, clouds, sun, shower or thunderstorm around, but it will be warm and humid, a high of 87. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. A man gearing up for the weekend. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Yes, we're almost there. Amy and Dan, good morning. In the Humboldt Park area on the west side of Chicago, Augusta has just reopened Sacramento and Grand Avenue. This was after a multi-alarm fire, an apartment blaze, the 3200 block of West Augusta. So everything is open again, but you do still have fire crews in the area for cleanup and investigation. Expressways and tollways for now look pretty good, but as we get into this holiday weekend, it'll get pretty busy on Chicago's roadways. Don't forget that work on Lakeshore Drive, which has caused heavy delays all week. We expect a lot of traffic in that area. Right now, it's pretty light. We're not seeing any delays on the expressways and tollways. What delay there was on inbound I-57 just dissipated after overnight road work wrapped up. Same goes for I-80 in the Paducah area. So for now, things are quiet. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
Looking to refinance your home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Sally's heard hundreds of Team Hochberg's ads, so naturally she called the nation's largest online lender obsessed with their Rocket because she saw their ad pumping gas. Bad move. The Rocket-loving lender quoted Sally a rate higher than us and closing costs $6,000 more than Team Hochberg's. We explained the exorbitant closing costs and refinanced Sally into a lower rate and credited all of her closing costs. Team Hochberg doesn't have a Rocket, but we have lower rates and substantially lower closing costs than the nation's largest online Rocket-loving lender. You could call the nation's largest online lender who spends millions promoting their Rocket by charging excessive closing costs, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com.
Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
A glass of wine on the patio at day's end. Laughter from your teens and their friends gathered around the crackling fire of your new fire pit. This is the private oasis that AM Woodland Outdoor Design can create for you. Your outdoor space should be a reflection of your family's personality and a true extension of your home, not just a place to set your grill and furniture. A well-designed and constructed outdoor space can add significant value to your home and bring endless days of enjoyment. Spend more time together as a family, entertain friends, or just have a personal sanctuary to relax and de-stress. The expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process. They provide quality service with the utmost integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com or call 847-224-2167.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Without further ado.
Hi, I'm Patty Fritz, Precision Payroll's first employee. Yes, I'm real. I love working with my team and our clients and providing the best service and support. Hard to believe it's been that long. But when you love what you do, it's great. And I do love what we do at Precision Payroll. I didn't start for myself either.
That's right, Patty. I was there day one, and I'm still working with you today. Hi, I'm Jack Bishop, owner of Priority Logistics in Elk Grove and Precision Payroll's first client. Yes, I'm real too. Precision Payroll has served us exceptionally for 35 years. We've grown together over the years, and I look forward to many more to come.
Jack and Patty, thank you both for making Precision Payroll of America a great company to do business with. To join our growing ranks of clients, visit us at precisionpayroll.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
At her funeral today, they're going to play her best hits.
Well, that seems appropriate.
Yeah. Fun funeral.
Jason Van Dyke gave first interview on the topic of the Laquan McDonald shooting in 4 years. We spoke with FOP President Kevin Graham about that interview earlier this week and about the case as jury selection begins next week. And now prosecutors are moving to have Van Dyke's bail revoked and to have him imprisoned awaiting trial for granting the Tribune that interview.
Yeah, he goes to court in a rare, this is pretty rare, a dramatic move at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that's when the judge will decide if he revokes his bond and he goes straight to Cook County Jail or if he increases his bond. But the prosecutors, they didn't think that he should have been giving an interview on the eve before his trial.
It was pretty aggressive by the defense to pick this moment to give the sit down to the Tribune, so you can see where prosecutors aren't happy about it. The flip side is there's no gag order in the case, and imprisoning a defendant over speaking with the press under a circumstance where there is no gag order seems also aggressive.
Well, Van Dyke's attorney, Dan Hubert, said that it's an egregious abuse of power and a violation of his constitutional right to express his feelings. Because we read the article, we discussed it here. There was no details, about the case or about the shooting itself. It was just, what he did after the shooting. He went home, took a shower, couldn't move, was like paralyzed with fear for a while, and what he does every day.
Yes.
Praise, says a rosary for the victim.
Yes, but the prosecution is right to be upset, understanding what the purpose of that interview was. He gives details designed in part, whether they're honest or not, designed in part to generate empathy, number one. And number two, he sets up what his defense is going to be, in part, at least. Well, so I get why the prosecution is not exactly ecstatic about this. Do I think his bail should be revoked and imprisoned over it? No, not absent a gag order that preempted his interview with the Tribune, no.
Well, but I have a safety concern because if he's thrown into Cook County Jail, he's got to be obviously segregated from the prisoners because everyone wants a piece of him. Attorney Daniel Herbert also went on to say that the officer's never spoken out, despite the fact that he's been, the subject of thousands of news stories, many of them extremely negative and false.
Right.
So he said, quote, he feels this could be his only opportunity to express his feelings. And I thought, well, he could express his feelings if he's on the witness stand and takes, the stand in his own defense.
He also had 4 years.
Yeah.
And now, a week before jury selection.
Yeah, you did say that at the time. I remember you were saying, I don't know if this timing's appropriate.
Well, it's if I was his defense attorney, I'd do the same thing to give him the most vigorous defense that you can. And part of this in a high-profile case is influencing public opinion. I don't know if I would have given the other side 4 years worth of runway. I might have done some interviews prior to and then in addition to. But if you do them prior to, then the media is going to go get a gag order, and then the way they did it, you can't unring the bell if you're the prosecution, which is why they're trying to inflict some punishment on Van Dyke.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
Trump in Hoosierville, or speaking with the, what do you call it, the Indianans?
Indianans.
Yeah.
Oh, I've made that mistake.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in good company.
Well, no, I don't think Trump made this mistake.
Just me,
you
just
did.
me.
Yeah.
And later, what would you do to get out of a ticket, a DUI? What one woman turned down. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 60 degrees here in Chicago. It is a tragic day in New Mexico. 7 are dead after a semi blows a tire and slams into a Greyhound bus on an interstate highway.
People trying to climb out of the windows of the bus. There was people on scene that were bystanders that were trying to help. People getting ladders out of their truck to get up to the windows.
It happened yesterday on I-40 about 90 miles west of Albuquerque. Investigators again believe a tire on a semi-tractor trailer blew out, sending that truck tumbling across the freeway, hitting the bus head-on. President Trump is ramping up attacks on the Justice Department and the FBI as investigators continue probing any connection between the Russians and his campaign. The president told a rally in Evansville, Indiana last night that what is happening is a disgrace.
What's happening is a disgrace. And at some point, I wanted to stay out, but at some point, if it doesn't straighten out properly, I want them to do their job. I will get involved, and I'll get in there if I have to.
The president saying people are angry at what he called the Mueller witch hunt. Senator John McCain is in Washington, D.C. for a final farewell. The casket carrying McCain was flown to the nation's capital yesterday and will lie in state at the Capitol today.
He would not stand by as people try to trample the Constitution or the Bill of Rights, including the First Amendment. And you know what? He believed in the Declaration of Independence.
During a memorial service in Phoenix yesterday, that was former State Attorney General Grant Woods. NASA says astronauts had to plug a hole in the International Space Station yesterday. The ISS crew used a cloth wipe saturated with sealant to stop the air from leaking through the hole. Aretha Franklin's funeral is in Detroit today, open to 1,000 of the members of the public. The Greater Grace Temple Pastor Charles Ellis III says anyone who wants to attend needs to be in line no later than 8:30 and appropriately dressed. Diego Brazil says he's been in line since last night.
It's worth it to have an opportunity to attend a funeral that was once listed as private, full of dignitaries and what have you. Now it's open to the public a certain amount. It's worth every bit.
The funeral expected to last about 6.5 hours. Stories we're following here in Chicago. 3 are in stable condition following a fire in an apartment building on Chicago's west side. A woman is dead after tumbling into Lake Michigan. On Chicago's south side, fire crews pulled her out of the water this morning, later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. 10 workers recovering following an explosion at a Metropolitan Water Reclamation District treatment plant on Chicago's south side. Funeral arrangements are set for 6 of the 10 children who died in a fire last weekend in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. And you've seen the brand new advertisements, and you've also heard about it. You can have fun with liquid nitrogen, apparently, at your local restaurant, but the FDA this morning says that's dangerous. The FDA issued a safety alert, warning consumers that serious injury has resulted from eating foods prepared by adding liquid nitrogen at the point of sale, like ice cream, cereal, even cocktails. The safety alert says the FDA has become aware of severe and sometimes life-threatening internal injuries caused by liquid nitrogen in food and drink. Cubs edge the Braves 5-4. Red Sox beat the White Sox 9-4 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Bears led 27-3 going into the fourth quarter. Then apparently we're looking forward to the start of the regular season. The defense gave up 25 unanswered in a loss to the Bills. Northwestern beat Purdue in the Big Ten football opener, 31-27. The news, a service of Compassion International. You can't change the whole world, but you can be part of the change in the world for a child living in poverty by becoming a Compassion International child sponsor. Choose a child to sponsor now at compassion.com/radio, compassion.com/radio. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher calls out the never-Trumpers.
They are so crazed, consumed with their personal hatred of this man that they don't care what happens to the country. They don't care what happens in terms of policy. They don't care what happens in terms of anything that has been achieved in the nearly 2 years that Donald Trump's been president. They are unglued.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, join the Heartland Institute and me on Friday, October 26th for the 34th anniversary benefit dinner at the Cotillion in Palatine. I will be your MC, and the featured speaker will be Judge Andrew Napolitano from the Fox News Channel. Judge Napolitano is nationally known for watching and reporting on the government, and his no-holds-barred, hard-hitting commentary on government overreach and the abuse of our rights. Register today to reserve your VIP tickets or a whole table and meet Judge Napolitano. His important and unforgettable speech will be on the Constitution and human freedom. Also be there to help celebrate the lives of two people who have dedicated their lives to advancing liberty. Heartland Liberty Prize winners Joe Bast, the co-founder and former president of the Heartland Institute, and his wife Diane. Don't be held in contempt. Join the Heartland Institute and me, Judge Napolitano, on Friday, October 26th at the Cotillion in Palatine. For tickets or information, call 312-377-4000 or visit heartland.org. That's 312-377-4000 or heartland.org. I'll see you there.
5:36. Let's get an update on that early morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. All clear on the Edens and the Eden Spur right now, despite the ongoing construction. Kennedy looks good. Versatiles are open inbound. No delays to report yet on the Eisenhower. The inbound Stevenson's a bit tight. Harlem to Kedzie, 38 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound Fonda 34. Inbound Ryan, delays start around the Stevenson. 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 16 with the roadwork slowdown, 87th to 95th. I-57's good. Bishop Ford, got a 5-minute delay now from 115th to the merge. Tollways are good. No problems to report in Northwest Indiana. Traffic, service of unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment at unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, we will have sunshine today, but later in the day, clouds begin to creep in right ahead of kickoff for high school football. High 83. Warm and humid overnight, low 71. We'll heat up a little bit Saturday. Warm and humid under mostly cloudy skies with a chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. And a high of 84. Currently 60. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I know it's the Friday before Labor Day and you're checking out, but Chuck Todd says absolutely do not check out. Today, oh boy, it's a big day. He doesn't know anything. I mean, that's just a general statement about Chuck Todd.
So that was fake news last night?
Well, he's just suggesting that it's the last day before the Labor Day to November 6th window opens up, where it's unlikely Mueller is going to say anything about the investigation. And so this will be pushed off until after the midterm elections. So if there's anything that's going to develop that is not already sort of in the pipeline, it's going to be announced today. Otherwise, there'll be nothing new in the investigation until after the election, so that Mueller isn't tagged with influencing the election. This is Chuck Todd's point, I think, when he said what he said.
I'm not missing work tomorrow. I wouldn't miss work tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last business day of the pre-Labor Day to Election Day window, Sahil.
And this is where there's so much at stake in the 2018 elections, because whoever controls the House is going to decide what the fate, what comes of this report.
And I think the last thing Mueller wants, the supposition is, particularly after watching the experience of his good buddy Jim Comey bounce around like a ping pong ball in the 2016 election, is to have one pronouncement that seems to favor one side, followed by another pronouncement that seems to favor the other side, and back and forth for the next 75 days.
Well, he said something's going to go down today at 4:22 p.m. Eastern time. I mean, he's got to know something, or is he just making this up?
Yeah, I don't think he knows anything. I think he's just. This is what this is what Chuck Todd calls analysis. He also had this to say about Mueller, trying to buttress the Mueller American treasure line of argumentation.
Here's what I've learned about Bob Mueller. Not a single person that has known him, been with him, worked with him, would say if he didn't have anything, that he would have ended this investigation if there was no collusion. That he already would have ended this investigation.
We can't tell that, though, until he tells us.
That's true. No, that is...
there's that.
Right, we are just left here in what is the last chapter of the novel.
Right.
Yeah,
well, President Trump's getting a little antsy, getting a little weary of this. In Evansville, Indiana yesterday, calling out the Justice Department, saying he's not going to sit back and do nothing.
Our Justice Department and our FBI have to start doing their job and doing it right and doing it now. What's happening is a disgrace. And at some point, I wanted to stay out, but at some point, if it doesn't straighten out properly, I want them to do their job. I will get involved, and I'll get in there if I have to.
Mm-hmm. And he told Bloomberg News, I'd love to have him do a great job, Jeff Sessions. I'd love to have him look at the other side, obviously referring to Hillary Clinton. I do question what Jeff is doing. He did say that his job is safe until after November, after the November elections, which we all sort of anticipated. And then after that, his job is no longer safe because he won't be in it.
Hey, Jeff, you might want to be looking for work after the midterms.
I'd just like to have Jeff Sessions do his job. And if he did, I'd be very happy. But the job entails two sides, not one side.
So he thinks he's being biased toward President himself.
Well, I don't think he thinks he's being biased. I think he doesn't like that he's taken the Pontius Pilate approach to the Russian collusion investigation. That hasn't set well with the president from the outset, and it still doesn't as this rolls on. One piece of news yesterday that I thought was interesting and something that is smart, the news that Rudy Giuliani is putting together a counter report.
Oh.
And I think this makes a lot of sense. Counter report that will seek to, this is the media DC press corps characterization of it, delegitimize Mueller's investigation into the Russian election meddling and so forth. Part of the report is going to examine the initiation of the investigation and whether it was legitimate or not. It's going to be divided into two sections, according to Giuliani. One section will seek to question that legitimacy. The other section will respond to the more substantive allegations of Trump campaign collusion with Russian government agents, obstruction of justice charges, in the public square, not obviously against the president in any formal way, including related to the firing of Jim Comey. I really like the idea of not waiting for Mueller to offer his final salvo, whether it comes in the report or formal legal action, and put out your own report. Remind the American people of everything that has transpired with the senior leadership of the FBI and the Department of Justice, and everything that hasn't transpired with respect to investigations into Hillary Clinton, how those were or were not conducted and by whom. I think this makes a lot of sense because when the President of the United States issues a report, people are going to cover it. People are going to talk about it. And so rather than being on your heels and just trying to respond to everything that Mueller might have to say in any report, put out your own recounting of the events and put the other side and the D.C. press corps on their heels to respond to what you have to say on the merits. There's a lot of things that are not in dispute that tend to favor the President of the United States right now. And I think those should be memorialized, and you should push back with something like what Giuliani is doing. I think that makes a lot of sense.
What do you think about, Jeff Sessions, though? Do you think he should be? Lindsey Graham even came out and said this relationship is not going to be repaired. Jeff Sessions needs to move on. They need to have that talk, the uncomfortable talk nobody wants to have.
Yeah, I know. And it's not, this is an unusual circumstance. The idea of people coming and going out of a presidential administration not unusual. I mean, the president has to have an attorney general, number one, that he wants, and number two, that he has a relationship with. And yeah, clearly, I agree with Lindsey Graham. This one has soured to the point of being unrepairable, it seems, and so make a change. You know, I mean, this is well within, obviously, the president's executive authority to nominate cabinet officers, his cabinet, and he should have an attorney general that he has full confidence in. And frankly, even more than the Russian collusion piece of this, because I think Jeff Sessions has a legitimate argument for recusing himself, but what's going on and continues to go on at Justice, and the lack, it seems to me, and it seems that the president agrees, of rooting out the collusion between Justice and the FBI as it pertains to the 2016 election, the collusion to stop Donald Trump from being president of the United States. I think that's a big problem.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
More safe passage workers to keep the kiddies safe. But first, here's your forecast. Some sunshine today giving way to clouds. Warmer. It will heat up. It's pretty cold out there right now. 60 degrees going up to a high of 83. Saturday, cloudy, warm and humid. Can't rule out a couple of showers and thunderstorms, a high of 84. Sunday, the same, a high of 88. Monday, clouds with sun, a shower or thunderstorm around. Again, warm and humid, a high near 90. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan Kennedy. Inbound, a little heavy now, 190 to Cumberland, 21 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound fine at 20. Edens is good. About Eisenhower. A slow pocket, 25th Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue. 32 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson now at 44 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford with a 5-minute delay, 115th at the merge. Tollways are good. Metro has an early getaway schedule today. More trains leave downtown early in the afternoon, fewer later. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Success happens with an affordable full-time IT staff from Turnkey IT. Just listen.
We're a contracting architecture firm with 50 employees in 2 states. We hosted our own email and file and print servers on a local area network, and the systems were always down more than they were up. Very frustrating. Turnkey IT migrated our email to Office 365 and simplified our network using additional cloud-based systems and cool advanced technologies. All our company's local data is backed up and replicated. Security measures are in place to avoid dangerous threats online, and we have a really nice voice over IP phone system. Remote users can make phone calls and appear like they're in the office when they're at a construction site. With reliable systems, our employees are more productive, and that's transformed the company's bottom line. Thank you, Turnkey IT.
Your business can have great success too, with a full-time IT staff starting at $7.95 a month from Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
That's Dot. She's here to greet me after a long day. She's the only one who wants to be near me when I'm sick. She's my best friend. Thanks to folks like South Suburban Humane Society, Dot went from living on the street to a dog that wears clothes. Yep, I'm that guy. So how did I get so lucky? Before I met Dot, I spent time at South Suburban. Giving to a nonprofit isn't always about giving money or donating food and supplies, although that's appreciated too. South Suburban Pets just want your love. We encourage you to come by the facility, take a dog for a walk, play with Dot's cat friends, or even foster a pet to keep your flexibility. If you're interested in how you can volunteer or donate, visit them at southsuburbanhumane.org. That's right, Dot. South Suburban is a 501c3, which means all donations are tax deductible for individuals and businesses. Text DONATE to 708-866-0065 or visit southsuburbanhumane.org. South Suburban Humane Society, creating a better world for pets and their people.
You dread the sound of your cell phone buzzing with unknown caller. It's probably your mortgage company calling about your overdue payments again. Maybe you found yourself in a difficult financial situation due to hardship, and now it seems like your world is falling apart. Your home is on its way to foreclosure.
Foreclosure is not your only option. I'm Angela Sikors Epstein of ATC Mitigation Services. We're a company that specializes in short sales, a way to satisfy your loan with the bank and avoid foreclosure. Although other real estate professionals can handle short sales, they just don't have the experience and knowledge of the process like our mitigation company. We'll work with your mortgage lender to get their approval for a short sale. You can even list your property through a preferred realtor.
A short sale can help you avoid the pain and hassle of foreclosure and will stop those dreaded phone calls. Call ATC Mitigation at 630-517-8510 and hear about the benefits of a short sale. If you're on the verge of losing your home, call today or go to easyshortsales.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We were talking about Jeff Sessions' last 70 days as Attorney General. And
have a good weekend.
As well as this counter report that Giuliani's compiling to respond.
See, I would
maybe even preempt anything that Mueller does.
I would trust Rudy Giuliani's report much more so than Mueller's. So that is something I'd actually want to read.
Yeah, I think it's a smart tactical maneuver. And then also Trump suggesting, as we played in Evansville yesterday, that if Justice and FBI doesn't clean up their act, he's going to have to get more personally involved to do so.
The fixer.
Chris in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi, Dan. Thanks for taking my call. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning.
I mean, I don't understand why we have to, just derail the rule of law here by claiming there's collusion between the Justice Department and the FBI against Trump to stop him from his presidency when there's no such thing, no evidence of any illegal wrongdoing for that. They're following the evidence and the trail of evidence of possible wrongdoing on Trump, and you're rallying this crazed, frantic base by stating, the FBI and the Justice Department colluded to stop Trump, when that's not true.
Mm-hmm. Really? Okay. Do you know who Bruce Orr is? Do you know who Christopher Steele is? Do you know who Nellie Orr is? Do you know the inner workings of that relationship? Have you paid attention to Christopher Steele being an FBI asset and also a Fusion GPS asset? Bruce Orr being number 4 at Justice, and Nellie Orr, his wife, working at Fusion GPS, the firm hired to compile the unverified dossier on Trump. Have you heard of Peter Strzok? Have you heard of Jim Comey? Have you heard of Andy McCabe? Shall I go on? You want to talk?
Yeah, what's the problem there?
Oh,
what is the problem?
As Jim Jordan pointed out, the 6 of the top people at the FBI, including its director and deputy director, are all gone, have all been taken to task. Well, Jim Comey not yet, but he's going to, by the DOJ Inspector General, with respect to their handling of the Clinton investigation, number 1. And we understand that Andy McCabe or Jim Comey lied under oath, or perhaps both of them did in different ways. But they're saying
that?
Because they're saying different things. And this is the point, Chris. You're not paying attention. So Andy McCabe said that I had authorization to leak information to the press. Jim Comey said to the same question, he never had any knowledge of leaking, nor did he give any authorization for any subordinate to leak. That's just one example.
I don't know about that, but
what do you mean you don't know? This is great. This is great. No. This is great. This is a fact. But I don't know about that, so I'm just going to dismiss it. This is why you can't have a conversation with people, Chris, because you're not intellectually curious. You're not interested. You're the one who's interested. You're the one interested in staking out a position and just dismissing anything that runs counter to it. So read about all these people and see if you can connect some dots. And then when you have specific questions, rather than just waving things off with a blanket dismissal, then you can come back and we'll try and have an adult conversation later.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
You're the one that's in charge of getting your business logo on everything. There are a lot of promotional product and branding companies that can do the work, but they're not marketing people. This is Bob Rowdies. I'm a marketing guy. My company is Proforma Total Solutions. We have the resources of a $500 million company with the speed and response time of a small company. Promotional items, apparel, commercial printing, trade show displays, direct mail, and more. Proforma isn't just an order taker. We help you make selections and help you find the best way to display your brand. And we can do it all. One place, one shop. Anything that has a logo on it, we can do it. Best thing, give us a try. Give us a chance to earn your business. Proforma, 708-301-4128. That's 708-301-4128. I know it's hard to remember a number, so here's where you can get all the info. BestLogoChoice.com. That's BestLogoChoice.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Freak yeah, Jimmy John's.
Freak yeah, what if I just needed one sandwich delivered?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 100 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 24 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
67 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
You know, 67's a prime number.
Freak yeah, a whole number greater than one whose only factors are one in itself, I know.
Great. I'll take one turkey tom, please.
Freak yeah, one turkey tom, on the way.
Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah.
When you're looking for a caring dentist and an experienced dental staff who'll treat you like family, then it's time to call Dr. Y at Oaklawn Dental LLC. Dr. Yerkes and his team will create a smile that you'll want to share with family and friends. Go to oaklawndentist.com for a complete list of services, or call Oaklawn Dental for an appointment with Dr. Y at 708-424-5700. And for a limited time, get a $100 credit on your new account. Call 708-424-5700. Oaklawn Dental LLC, for the smile you deserve.
5:57. Let's get an update on the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the outbound Stevenson, we're seeing delays now from Cass to before Lamont Road. There's a crash there. You're looking at about a 5-minute delay. And inbound, it's heavy in that area as well. Also slow. Harlan to Kedzie and Demon to the right. It's 45 minutes, 3:55 for Lakeshore Drive. Eden still good. Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Ike, 33 minutes, 390 to Circle. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. Traffic, the service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, supporting victims of drunk driving, drugged driving, and underage drinking at no charge. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MAD-HELP, or visit mad.org. That's MADD.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, some sunshine giving way to clouds, high 80. Mostly cloudy, warm and humid tonight, low 71. Mainly cloudy, warm and humid tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 84. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
60 at O'Hare, 64 along the lakefront. The news, a service of Compassion International. For just 5 quarters a day, you can sponsor a child through Compassion International. Pocket change to you, life-changing for a child in need. Be part of the change. Become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio, compassion.com/radio. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer. 3 are in stable condition following a fire on Chicago's west side. It happened in a building this morning near Kedzie and Augusta. A woman is dead after tumbling into Lake Michigan. It happened on Chicago's south side early this morning in the 3900 block of South Lakeshore Drive. 10 workers are recovering following an explosion at a water treatment facility owned by the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District on Chicago's far south side. 3 students recovering from burns after being sprayed with a chemical solution at Whitney Young High School. Mayor Emanuel says he's adding more safe passage routes before next week's first day of class for Chicago public schools. Cubs edge the Braves White Sox rally for a win over the Red Sox, or the Red Sox rally for a win over the White Sox, and the Bears fall to the Bills. WIND, Chicago News Time, 6.
He talked up Republicans and talked down to the media. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Our biggest obstacle and their greatest ally actually is the media.
President Trump at a rally last night in Evansville, Indiana, stumping for a Republican trying to unseat Democratic Senator Joe Donnelly. He also brought up a familiar theme.
Our Justice Department and our FBI have to start doing their job and doing it right and doing it now.
He's wanting a deeper investigation into Hillary Clinton while again calling the Russia probe a witch hunt. The president told Bloomberg Attorney General Sessions' job is safe until at least November. Democrats have claimed he's been trying to obstruct the special counsel's probe. And there's an update on Bruce Ohr, the Justice Department official under Republican scrutiny over his handling of the anti-Trump dossier. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, sources tell Fox News that Justice Department official Bruce Ohr kept Andrew Wiseman, who's now a top Robert Mueller deputy, in the loop on an anti-Trump dossier that was passed around during the 2016 campaign. Ohr's wife Nellie was employed by Fusion GPS, which hired former British spy Christopher Steele to compile the document. The dossier was used as a basis for obtaining a FISA warrant to spy on former Trump campaign aide Carter Page. Democrats dispute the significance of the dossier and the FISA warrant application. Dave.
Rachel, late Senator John McCain's casket's in Washington after 2 days of tributes in Phoenix. He'll be at the U.S. Capitol.
This is a rare honor. Senator McCain will become just the 30th person to lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda. Tomorrow there will be a service at the National Cathedral here in Washington. And then on Sunday, the senator will be taken to burial at the Naval Academy.
That's Fox's Doug Luzader at the Capitol. Also later this morning, Aretha Franklin's funeral in Detroit. Former President Clinton among those who will speak. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Precision Payroll of America, Automated Systems Incorporated, and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. The last chance to find an incredible deal on the cars, trucks, and SUVs that make summer go right. Simply stop by a local Ford dealer or shop online at buyfordnow.com. Because the time to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event ends soon. And so do these amazing offers. The Ford Summer Sales Event is in its final days. That means it's the last chance to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by your local Ford dealer and find great offers on many Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. With leading driver assist technologies, it's easy to see why Ford is the brand more drivers buy and buy again. Look for yourself. But hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event ends September 4th, 2018. To find out more, head to buyfordnow.com or stop by your local Ford dealer. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales.
Did you know, Amy, that McHugh Construction is the premier builder of landmark, one-of-a-kind structures in Chicago and across the Midwest, but they also perform on smaller projects?
Yes, Dan, I do. The Special Olympics Eternal Flame of Hope at Soldier Field, Gibson's Italia, Mad West Restaurant in the United Center, and the recently completed Ritz-Carlton lobby. In fact, McHugh has served public and private sector clients since 1897 on big and small projects, and are proud to have played a major part in improving Chicago's infrastructure and helping to redefine its iconic skyline. For information on how McHugh can play a part in your project, visit McHughConstruction.com.
Yeah, that Gibson's Italia is nice. That's McHughConstruction.com, MCHUGH Construction.com. McHugh Construction proudly supports the 100 Club of Chicago, and many McHugh employees have volunteered their time for the past decade. The 100 Club of Chicago provides financial support and scholarships to families of first responders who have lost their lives in the line of duty. For info on how you can help first responder families, visit 100clubchicago.org.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Should Pope Francis resign? Should Cardinal Cupich resign? Questions being bandied about in the wake of the Vigano testimony that we've talked about this week, one of the big stories this week, really a bombshell in the Catholic Church, which has been dealing with endemic sexual abuse for decades now, and still hasn't given a full and complete reckoning to the faithful and to the public, both of whom are owed that reckoning. A letter published in at Catholic Women's Forum, CatholicWomen'sForum.org. 14,000 signatures already. The signatories are some of the leading Catholic female intellectuals in the country: Catherine Jean Lopez, from National Review, Mary Rice Hasson, a whole host of academics. They have a couple of questions, do these women, and they have a couple of statements they make in this open letter to Pope Francis. Is it true that McCarrick corrupted generations of seminarians and priests, and Pope Benedict ordered him to withdraw to a life of prayer and penance? What did Archbishop Vigano convey to you in June 2013, about then Cardinal McCarrick? When did you learn of any allegations of sexual abuse or sexual misconduct with adults by then Cardinal McCarrick? When did you learn of Pope Benedict's restrictions on then Cardinal McCarrick, and did you release then Cardinal McCarrick from any of Pope Benedict's restrictions? Simple questions, straightforward questions about somebody who conducted a life of predatory behavior as a member of the College of Cardinals.
Yeah, he should be in jail, McCarrick.
These women, this letter: we are wives, mothers, single women, consecrated women, and religious sisters. We are the mothers and sisters of your priests, seminarians, future priests, and religious. We are the church's lay leaders and the mothers of the next generation. We are professors in your seminaries and leaders in Catholic chanceries and institutions. We are the backbone of Catholic parishes, schools, and dioceses. We are the hands, the feet, and the heart of the church. In short, we are the church every bit as much as the cardinals and bishops around you. Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Do you think it's going to make a difference?
I don't think Pope Francis is going to be able to weather his "I will not say a single word" on the topic. That is not a tenable position. And I don't think the calls and the questions are going to stop, and they shouldn't.
I know. Well, mainstream media, though, they're giving him a pass. I've never seen anything like this. I don't know why they're defending Pope Francis. I mean, remember the headline, the New York Times? Francis takes high road as conservatives pounce, taking criticism public. That's a pass right there. And the way that, I've watched him, we all have for years, when he's on his plane talking to the media, and he always shows contrition and love and acceptance. But when they asked him about this 11-page letter, he looked down. He got a mean look on his face. He got a look that I've never seen before, and refused. That's when he said he refused to comment on these allegations, that he's not going to be discussing them. And that spoke volumes to me. I don't care where he was in the sky, but that transmitted something to me of that he knows something is wrong, and he's part of the cover-up.
Well,
Cupich is compliant in this, too. I mean, he's not doing any favors for himself either, or for any of the victims out there, by not saying that we should be worried more about climate change. Shame on him.
We'll get to Cupich in a second, but Pope Francis's silence is not going to be tolerated. Maybe tolerated by the D.C. press corps that likes him because he's a leftist, and so is running interference for him. The same way that NBC ran interference for Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, yeah, that's right. A producer who's just recently let go from NBC came forward and said they tried to squash it, block the story 3 different times.
Shut down Ronan Farrow.
Shut it down. because they in their defense they claim that there was no Rowan Farrow didn't have any witnesses. Yeah, his article had witnesses.
He had
victims in it.
At the time, he had six women.
Yeah, we all read it, and that was their defense yesterday.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a news organization. These news organizations, fascinating.
You think that they're not controlling the content?
You think that they don't place ideology ahead of everything is the real point. They place ideology ahead of everything. The power agenda is the most important thing. And if that means I have to run interference for somebody who covered up pedophilia, okay. If that means I need to run interference for a high-powered producer who abused women, okay.
I mean, he was a predator. He was a rapist.
He
was a monster. And they didn't want to run the story because I don't know if they were friends with him or they just didn't want that out there. They didn't want to affect the Hollywood elites. They were protecting him, and that was wrong.
So back to Pope Francis, Robbie George, Princeton professor, and another leading light in terms of Catholic intellectuals, he tackles this question in the Wall Street Journal op-ed, is it time for Pope Francis to resign? And he essentially recounts and asks some of the same questions that these women asked in this open letter to Pope Francis. He reminds us, as we've talked about here, that McCarrick, there were settlements that were paid out in New Jersey going back
2007.
2004 was the first allegation. There are two payments that were made to people accusing Cardinal McCarrick of wrongdoing of a sexual nature.
Yeah, he harassed them, made comments, and tried to touch them. So one settled for $80,000. The other one settled for $100,000.
And so it's interesting to hear what Cardinal Cupich has to say about this, because in circles, these are small circles, the upper reaches of the church's hierarchy, and the upper reaches of any organization, even a big organization. People hear things about influential people within the organization, right? Mm-hmm. And rumors is one thing. Legal settlements is that's a whole nother topic area. So Cupich, in his interview with Marianne Ahern at NBC5 this week, was asked about when he knew about McCarrick, because it was just 2 years ago that Cupich conferred an award to McCarrick. And Cupich was asked about his relationship with McCarrick, because in the Vigano testimony, remember, Vigano alleges McCarrick was basically the person who wired Cupich into the archbishopship of Chicago, despite the fact that he wasn't initially recommended. So Cupich on the award.
I offered a statement that addressed the three areas that he said about me. I suspect others are going to be doing the same thing. So the news media now needs to go and press him for information. I read the Washington Post and other major newspapers, and their first line always is, he's made these accusations but offered no proof. Let's let the news media do their job here.
Well, that's Cupich on Vigano. Well,
Okay.
Well, let's let the Pope do his job. I mean, there is these allegations, so the response can't be, I'm not going to say a word about it. If you're not going to say a word about it, how is the media going to do its job? The Pope should address the allegations, as Cupich addressed some of them, and then the public can make up their own minds based on the evidence presented.
But look instead of questioning Pope Francis and what he knew, they're taking in at Vigano. Los Angeles Times described him as unsubstantiated. They also cited church experts who insist that the letter, that 11-page letter, may be less about those allegations and about power struggles within the church hierarchy.
Supich on Pope Francis.
Does the Pope need to tell Catholics exactly what he knew about Cardinal McCarrick and when he first knew it?
Well, I think that the Holy Father on the airplane had exactly the kind of answer that was needed. He was asked about the letter of Archbishop Vigano. He said he read it. He encouraged the media to read it carefully and to come to their own conclusions, and that he would not have any final any other statement on it. I think what he was signaling is two things. The first is that you have to see whether or not these remarks stand up to scrutiny. There are so many things in there that he says about so many people that it's impossible to try to get into the weeds on this. And he trusts the media to use their skill, their expertise, and he said their maturity to explore these questions. For instance, look at the language of the letter and compare it to the language that's in these websites and news outlets that release the document. There's so many parallels there in terms of the kinds of things that they're attacking the Holy Father and other people about. The other is look at these various things that are said on an individual basis. That's why I clarified it.
So Supich is a politician, if you haven't picked up on it. That's a real nice, flowery statement, Cardinal Supich. Here's the deal. Go back to the simple questions that are posed in this letter at Catholic Women's Forum. What did Vigano convey to you in June of 2013 about McCarrick? Answer the question. It's that simple. That's a question that has been asked and should be answered because the allegations surround the answer to that question. So what does the Pope have to say about it? And why, Cardinal Supich, shouldn't the Pope answer that question? When did you learn about McCarrick? You answer the question. Supich answers the question when Marianne Ahern asks him, when did you learn about McCarrick? You know what his answer is? A couple of months ago. That's what he says.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple of months ago.
Oh, when it came out, that story in the New York Times about the kid that he groomed and abused for 32 years. Allegedly, but still, I'm believing the person who's now in his 50s.
What did you do with respect to the restrictions Pope Benedict put on him? What was conveyed to you in that June 2013 meeting? What did you know and when did you know it about McCarrick? Questions that demand answers. And Mary Ann should have pushed back and said, well, you're answering the question, whether I believe you or not, but you're answering the question. Why shouldn't the Pope? Cardinal Supich also characterized this whole matter. It's not about sex.
This is not about sex. It's about power and clericalism. That's what has to change in the life of the church, and that's what the Pope is talking about. But let's also be clear that people who want to make this about sex in terms of homosexuality and all the rest of it are a diversion from the real issue that we need to attack in the life of the church.
Yeah. Well,
oh
no,
my goodness.
That is a real issue.
It is an issue. Yeah.
I don't go to the tote board and look at the statistics on sexual abuse in the church. Ideology over everything. That's the left. Even men of the cloth of the left in the Catholic Church putting their ideology over their faith, in addition to their responsibilities, in addition to their decency. Sickening. Frank in St. Charles.
Hey, good morning. This never-ending scandal with the pedophile priest, is there any other profession or organization that has a bigger problem than that organization?
Yeah.
Or are they number one?
No, the public schools.
CPS, yeah.
Public schools. 100 times.
Wow.
Thanks for the call, Frank. And I referenced a 2004 study, a famous study by Carol Shakeshaft, who prepared the study for the U.S. Department of Education, quoting from her study. Because we have this going on at CPS, too, and nobody's answering any questions about that. Everybody's Pope Francis. Not going to say a single word about the CPS scandal either. A 2004 report from Carol Shakeshaft. The physical sexual abuse of students in schools is likely more than 100 times the abuse by priests, quote unquote. Nearly 9.6% of students are targets of educator sexual misconduct sometime during their school career, quote unquote, from Shakeshaft's famous study. So you want to talk about CPS now? We got anybody around who's going to answer questions about CPS?
Oh, they're doing something, background checks. But guess what? More than 1,000 teachers haven't taken the background checks. And school starts Tuesday. Okay?
Yeah.
And us volunteers who have taken the background check and passed it, I'm still, because I called Illinois State Police. Of course, I passed it. I don't even have an unpaid parking ticket. But now I'm stuck in limbo waiting for CPS to get their act together and clear me.
What time do they have lunch at Amundsen? Did you see that story? Like Lane Tech, they have lunch at like 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, they always, yeah. We had that at Blaine because you have so many classes to get through one lunchroom. So lunch would start at 9:45.
I mean,
it's early. And then guess what time the 7th and 8th graders?
This is a heck of an organization they're running.
7th and 8th graders, guess what time they eat? 1:45. School's out at 3. That's all right.
Heck of a job you're doing there, CPS.
It's a lot of kids for one school and one lunchroom. You got to do what you can.
Yeah.
And Lane Tech has 5,200 students.
Yeah, run like a Soviet agrarian co-op. Real impressive.
Size of Butler University.
Joe in St. Charles.
Good morning. I believe one real possibility the Pope hasn't responded to this is he's busy kissing the feet of illegal immigrants that come here and rape and murder our people.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Joe. I understand the point, though. Pete in Montgomery.
Morning, Dan. Morning, Amy.
Morning.
Hi.
I don't know that the Pope can actually speak to any of this. To be entirely honest with you, because I can't remember the exact term, but he speaks for God. So if he says anything, it might have a wider implication than just the pedophile priests and all that goes on there.
I feel at the very least you could say a prayer for the victims, or we're keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. Or
no, that's not enough. No.
But that look of disdain that he gave when reporters asked that question, I will never forget that.
There's no reason that the Pope can't answer questions about this. In fact, it's his responsibility to do so. It's his responsibility to root out corruption in the church, and this is corruption of the sickest kind. Yeah. Thanks for the call,
Absolutely.
Pete. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Well, why didn't Pope Benedict why didn't he get rid of him back then when they knew about the settlements? They knew that he was a serial harasser in the seminary. Right.
They essentially, put him into, the Catholic version of Siberia. If you're a member of the clergy, go live a life of prayer and service, you're out.
But they didn't pursue criminal charges against him? Or maybe the victims chose not to. Who knows?
Well, I mean, I guess you can make arguments about, depending on what people knew and when they knew it, should they have informed
local prosecutors,
law enforcement? Yeah. That's a fair question. Bruce in Bloomingdale.
Any other organization, business, corporation, nonprofit that had this kind of history would have already been prosecuted under the RICO statutes.
Not the public schools.
Into oblivion.
Not the public schools, and in the Catholic Church. I mean, obviously, in terms of settlements, we're talking about billions of dollars already.
Right. I mean, it's ridiculous, and I'm all for. I think CPS ought to be accused of organized child abuse and prosecuted under the RICO statute.
Yeah.
But that's a separate question. For right now, this has been going on in the Catholic Church for 35 to 40 years. There is a documented history of them moving serial pedophiles around and actively covering up for them.
Yeah.
And the fact that nobody will even acknowledge that there's a problem in the Catholic Church. I mean, priests aren't supposed to be stooping anybody. Not each other, nobody. And
that is right. Those are the vows.
I don't want to get stooped.
That's very Mel Brooksian, but yes, that's right, Bruce. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
And what did you say? What are the percentage of the Catholic Church sexual abuse cases? Most of them are not pedophiles, but homosexual attacks.
Yeah. All but 3%.
All but 3%. Wow.
And
there's not this isn't a sex problem. according to Supich.
Well,
oh,
I mean,
no.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
There's a very compelling homily that was given over the weekend by Father Robert Altier at St. Raphael's in Crystal, Minnesota, about the history, how this took root, starting some 80 years ago, with the leftist infusion. You could say fifth column action takeover of the church, radical feminists and, radical left homosexuals. Is that uncomfortable for people to confront? I don't know, but that's the truth. And you can check out Altier's homily if you want a 20-minute tutorial on how deep the problem runs, how long it has been left unchecked, and it will give you an understanding of how this has metastasized over the last 30 years into the horrors we've seen. I mean, yes, Spotlight's a great movie, and the Boston Globe did a great job. But that's not, they didn't, this had been going on for generations and generations and generations. And so even the Boston Globe, with their, award-winning, properly so investigative work, late to the dance. This is how deep it runs in the church, even though it represents a small percentage of the clergy. I mean, again, we try to do this everywhere else. Let's do this with the Catholic Church, too, and not paint with the broad brush. Very small percentage of the clergy. Very small. But a small percentage of a big number is a big problem, and the church continues to have a big problem. Jim in Tampa.
Hey, guys, great show this morning. This is some of your best work done when you go out to the church. You said earlier, everybody's like Francis. It's actually the reverse. Francis is like everybody. They've learned this game, and they're playing it. And they each have their roles within the game, within the Catholic hierarchy. There's the attack dog. There's the innocent person who doesn't know what's going on, which is Pope Francis in this case right now. They're playing this game hard. And, I think you mentioned something earlier about how the media seems to have backed off a bit. They're all part of it. That's why they're playing this game. There wouldn't be a spotlight this time around. I'm not sure there would be. I think they've learned to play the game. They've learned how to survive, where their pieces are on the board, and how they can play to win.
Thanks for the call, Jim.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
From the acclaimed director of God's Not Dead.
I regret to inform you that your husband was killed in combat.
When she lost her husband,
He chose to save me rather than come home to you and your daughter.
She lost her way. On September 7th comes an inspiring story about the power of family, faith.
I'm not giving up without a fight.
Courage and hope.
He will show them that nothing is impossible.
God Bless the Broken Road. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Only in theaters September 7th.
That's Dot. She's here to greet me after a long day. She's the only one who wants to be near me when I'm sick. She's my best friend. Thanks to folks like South Suburban Humane Society, Dot went from living on the street to a dog that wears clothes. Yep, I'm that guy. So how did I get so lucky? Before I met Dot, I spent time at South Suburban. Giving to a nonprofit isn't always about giving money or donating food and supplies, although that's appreciated too. South Suburban Pets just want your love. We encourage you to come by the facility, take a dog for a walk, play with Dot's cat friends, or even foster a pet to keep your flexibility. If you're interested in how you can volunteer or donate, visit them at southsuburbanhumane.org. That's right, Dot. South Suburban is a 501c3, which means all donations are tax deductible for individuals and businesses. Text DONATE to 708-866-0065 or visit southsuburbanhumane.org. South Suburban Humane Society, creating a better world for pets and their people.
AM 560, The Answer.
Can you read it?
Oh, it's just these internet memes. You have to laugh to keep from weeping, I guess, and driving yourself crazy. Internet memes with this. Did you see this one?
Who's driving the...
Al Cowling's driving McCarrick in the Ford Bronco.
That's awesome. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, switch gears a little bit. We're going to be joined by Dinesh D'Souza, author of Death of a Nation. And Death of a Nation is re-released. It's going to be re-released in theaters for Labor Day weekend. So we'll talk a little bit about that re-release and Dinesh D'Souza's reviews of where things stand with President Trump at 6:36.
And later, why the Democratic Party in California is trying to get a boycott against In-N-Out Burger. We'll explain, but first into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunrise, 6:30, 60 degrees. The ceremony will be held in Washington later today, honoring the late Senator John McCain. The Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Speaker Paul Ryan, and Vice President Mike Pence will make remarks. Some families are still anxiously waiting to hear about passengers who died in a New Mexico bus crash. At least 7 are dead after a collision between a Greyhound bus and a semi in northwest New Mexico.
As we went by the overturned semi, everything that was in the trailer was out on the road. It was a disaster.
The Greyhound was carrying 50 people at the time of that crash. The deadliest wildfire of the summer is now 100% contained. Northern California's Carr Fire burned near Redding for more than a month, scorching nearly 235,000 acres. It killed 8. Harvard University this morning is being accused of discrimination. Discrimination against certain races when making admission decisions. The Department of Justice filed a statement of interest supporting the group Students for Fair Admissions in its lawsuit accusing Harvard of discriminating against Asian Americans. The head of the European Union says it's time for the EU to stop messing around with the clock. European commissioners, including President Jean-Claude Juncker, say they'll have debate this month, or actually next month, that would be September, ending the practice of moving clocks ahead for summer and back for winter in Europe. 3 are in stable condition following a fire on Chicago's west side. The blaze broke out early this morning in an apartment building near Kedzie and Augusta. A woman is dead after falling into Lake Michigan on Chicago's south side. Fire crews pulled that woman from the water in the 3900 block of South Lakeshore Drive. She was hospitalized where she later died. 10 workers recovering following an explosion at a water treatment plant on Chicago's far south side. Fire officials tell us they believe the blast may have been caused by a buildup of methane gas. A Chicago man is accused of robbing over $100,000 from a bank last month. In the South Lawndale neighborhood, Ivan Parker was indicted on a bank robbery charge tied back to a July 27th heist at a Chase Bank. And there are more questions than answers after a massive schoolhouse brawl in the Quad Cities. It happened in Moline at Coal Valley High School. Superintendent has sent a note to parents home explaining that several fights inside of the school Wednesday grew into a massive brawl outside of the school where 100 kids fought in the street just off the city's uptown neighborhood. Tommy La Stella drilled a pinch hit go-ahead home run in the 6th inning. Cubs edged the Braves 5-4. Red Sox score 5 in the 9th inning. They rally to beat the White Sox at the rate 9-4. That was after Lucas Giolito left the game. He struck out 8 over 6 1/3 innings of one-run ball. Bears finished the preseason 2-3 after losing to the Bills at Soldier Field 28-27. And Jeremy Larkin had 143 on the ground. Northwestern beat Purdue and West Lafayette 31-27. The news, a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 6:34 is our time, and we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Ryan Siebert, CEO of SG Homebuilders and a customer of Signature Bank. Over the last 10 years, my business pivoted multiple times to adjust to the fluctuations in the Chicago real estate market. Signature Bank's partnership with us and their ability to adapt to changes has allowed us to become a leading custom home builder. Signature Bank is a relationship-based business bank right here in Chicago, providing services and advice that address our unique situation, and they serve as a trusted consultant on what works best for my business. Signature Bank helped us build SG Homebuilders while we were busy building dream homes for our clients.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Illinois property taxes punish the most vulnerable the most, like widow Mary Pay.
They just keep on going up and up. So that means my mortgage payment goes up, and it's kind of hard. What are they doing for us? Nothing.
66-year-old Chicago resident Linda J. had to take a second job just to pay her property taxes.
Mine is $7,000 a year. If I wasn't still working, I'd be screwed. Even at retirement age, I'm getting my Social Security, but I still have to work, and I'm working 2 jobs.
Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, you will not be spared the financial disaster the highest property taxes in the nation inflict. The good news is there's a group of independent candidates who aren't financed by Madigan or Rauner. They're working people taking up our fight to lower your property taxes. They made a life in Illinois, and the hell if they're going to let politicians take it away. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org for information on the candidates leading the revolt. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to hear your neighbor's stories and share your own. SaveYourHomeNow.org isn't just a website, it's a battle cry.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
It is 6:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Metro reports delays on the Milwaukee North line. There's a down power line across the tracks near Morton Grove. Eden Spur eastbound at heavy from the toll plaza to Waukegan Road. Eden's is 25 minutes, Lake Coke to Montrose, outbound 19. Kennedy, 32 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 15 from Montrose, 10 on the Express. Outbound 28 to the airport. On Eisenhower, 44 minutes from 390 to downtown. 29 from Manheim. Outbound 34 to 390. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. 32 from the Tri-State. An outbound crash before Lamont Road. It is an hour to get from Lakeshore Drive to 355. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. Lakeshore Drive has road work delays northbound Jackson to Monroe. Work on Tri-State heavy from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Traffic, service of Applebee's. Back to school is a whole lot tastier when kids eat free at Applebee's. Monday through Thursday, get 1 kids meal free with each adult entree. Dine-in only, valid for kids 12 and under, ordering from the kids menu. Participating Applebee's locations only. Applebee's makes back to school taste better. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunshine gives way to clouds today, high 83. Currently, we have 60 degrees. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
Tickets for Freedom Summit Chicago are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and President Trump was back out on the campaign trail in Evansville, Indiana, home of the Purple Aces.
Yeah, Yeah.
Also home of future Senator Mike Braun. That's a key
right.
pickup opportunity for Republicans. And talked a little bit about the FBI and the DOJ, and his patience is running thin.
All I can say this, our Justice Department, our FBI at the top of each, because inside they have incredible people, but our Justice Department and our FBI have to start doing their job and doing it right and doing it now. Because people are angry. People are angry. What's happening is a disgrace. And at some point, I wanted to stay out, but at some point, if it doesn't straighten out properly, I want them to do their job. I will get involved, and I'll get in there if I have to.
And speaking of jobs, he said, Jeff Sessions may be out after the midterm elections. He spoke with Bloomberg News.
I'd just like to have Jeff Sessions do his job. And if he did, I'd be very happy. But the job entails two sides, not one side.
Yeah, Sessions, he gone after November 6th. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Dinesh D'Souza, the author and filmmaker, Death of a Nation, The Big Lie, Exposing the Nazi Roots of the American Left, Hillary's America, Obama's America. Death of a Nation is re-released in theaters this Labor Day weekend, so we'll get all the details on where you can see that from Dinesh D'Souza, who joins us now. Dinesh, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's great to be on the show. Yeah, very excited about the film expanding out, and of course I have a book of the same title, Death of a Nation, in the stores now.
And the website, again, where people can find a theater and
oh, yes.
near you.
Just go to deathofanationmovie.com and plug in your zip code, and it will tell you where the movie is playing. So take some friends and family. Go see it this weekend if you haven't already.
Yeah, so why the re-release this weekend? I mean, it's great news for you and for people to see this film.
It's a perfect time. It's a big holiday weekend. Theaters like to have a movie that has, an audience. And so 600,000 people have already seen the movie in the theater. Regal and AMC and Cinemark know the movie has an A rating. It's 90% plus audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And so, it's a movie that people love to see, and this is a good time to see it. So the theaters were happy to open their doors, and, of course, we're happy to have it in more theaters.
Well, that's good to hear. And with the expansion of categories at the Oscars, you're sure to be Oscar-nominated for this, don't you think?
You know what? I've just ordered a new tuxedo for the very purpose, and I'm working on my speech.
Yeah, it's very...
Let me make a comment about what you guys were talking about with Trump, because I think what's going on here is Trump is slowly beginning the process of trying to retake control of his own Justice Department. Now, it's really odd because the Justice Department is part of the executive branch, but one of the great accomplishments of the left was to pry the Justice Department loose from Trump. And, of course, looking back, I think Trump has not made a whole lot of big mistakes, but one of his big mistakes was not to fire Comey and Rosenstein on day one.
Yeah.
Had he fired them, he would have replaced them. He would have his guys in there. We wouldn't be talking about any of these dudes. But the fact that he didn't do that gave them a chance to basically become a thorn in his side for 2 years.
Well, their suggestion is that by Chuck Todd yesterday, making news so people can, it's suggesting a bombshell is coming today. He's trying to get people to pay attention to him. That is, this is the last day before the Labor Day to November 6th Election Day window. And so Bob Mueller is going to be silent in that window more than likely, according to the conventional wisdom. And so if there's going to be any new development to discuss, it's going to happen today.
Very interesting. I don't know about that. I do know that this is a very bizarre situation because it's very clear that the left's attack on Trump is a migratory attack. It's let's get him on Stormy Daniels. Okay, that's not going to work. All right, let's now try the Russia collusion. No, that's not going to work. Well, maybe Cohen's plea deal will open the door to a campaign finance violation, which is, hard to imagine because, after all, Trump was largely funding his own campaign. So either way, any money that went was paid out of Trump's pocket. So I don't think that's really going to go anywhere. But the degree of hope that is vested in an attempt to somehow overturn the result of the November 2016 election, I mean, to have this going on 2 years since that election is very abnormal.
I just got in a little bit earlier in the show, got into a bit of a row with a caller because I had suggested that the real collusion going on based on the evidence culled to date has been the Justice Department and the FBI that Trump was talking about in Evansville, colluding with, and I should add, former Obama administration officials with unmasking that we still haven't gotten to the bottom of and the like, colluding to stop Trump or to then impair him when he was successful and did become president of the United States. Is it fair to say, based on what we know with the senior leadership of FBI and DOJ, that there was collusion going on to stop Trump?
Yes, and I don't think that people like Peter Strzok would do it on their own because they're seasoned enough and experienced enough to know that if the guys on the top would disapprove, they would be out of a job. Strzok in one of his emails says that President Obama wants to be completely appraised of everything that's going on. So it's very clear that there was a wink-wink business going on, Obama, Holder, and the FBI. The president was at the very least informed of what was happening and approved of it and allowed these underlings to run amok in the way that they did. So, yes, I think that we are seeing, to sum it up, a gangsterization of American politics that occurred under Hillary and under Obama, and we're living with the consequences of that now. What really mystifies me and disappoints me is the degree of media collusion with these guys. In other words, the degree of media collusion with the police state. In other countries, like my wife grew up in Venezuela, the sort of the fascist government has to go beat up members of the press to sort of muscle them into subordination. But in our country, the press is only too happy to become the propagandists and cheerleaders of the police state.
Now, what is your take on DOJ's fourth in line, Bruce Orr?
Well, here's another murky, shady character. And again, think about the media. The very day that Orr is testifying before Congress and behind closed doors, big flattering article about Orr appears in the New York Times. Yeah. I mean, it's almost as if Orr has propagandists working at the Times and says, okay, guys, I'm going to go in for my hearing. Let's have a flattering profile of me appear this very day. This, I think, is disturbing. I mean, a democratic society relies on a fiercely independent press, and by independent here we mean independent of the government and holding the government accountable. Here we have the shadiest of shady characters, and yet far from getting skeptical treatment, he's getting the sycophantic, genuflecting treatment that is more descriptive of what can be called a courtier press, like the courtiers at the French court. Their job is to essentially do genuflections and worship the king.
Well, right, but I mean, this is we were talking before you came on about Pope Francis and the sex abuse scandal still roiling the church, and this is what the left does. The ideology trumps everything. It trumps their independence, their professional responsibilities. It even trumps their faith, and it trumps rooting out predators. We've got the story today about NBC trying to spike the Weinstein story. We've got the left running interference for Pope Francis because it's conservatives who are calling on him to resign or at least to answer legitimate questions that were raised by this testimony from Archbishop Vigano. And it's the same thing as you're describing with Bruce Orr, that the pursuit of power over others trumps everything.
Once you start hearing people saying things like, and I don't remember the name of the cardinal who made this statement, that, we kind of don't want to get down this rabbit hole of sexual molestation because...
that's our cardinal.
Our cardinal, that's Chicago, yeah.
We should be working on climate change.
That's a really important thing to do because the Earth's climate has changed 1 degree over 100 years, and the fish are really beginning to feel they're really beginning to feel the heat. No, this kind of stuff is beyond belief. I think that this stuff is getting through to the American people in various ways. I mean, look, they've been calling Trump a neo-Nazi sympathizer and a white supremacist for 2 years. And yet his support among African Americans, according to Rasmussen, is over 30%, 3 times higher than that of any traditional Republican. So what this tells you is that this media narrative, although they're throwing an awful lot of mud against the wall, it's possible that not a whole lot of it is really sticking.
One other thing, just going back to the Trump matter and the Mueller investigation, I thought the news out yesterday that Giuliani is leading the legal team to compile their own report, their own delineation of what has transpired in this investigation into Russian meddling in the election. And I thought that was a very smart tactical move. Rather than wait for Mueller to issue some kind of report and then be on your heels responding to his chapter and verse, present your own evidence and let that drive the conversation.
Yes, I agree. I think that that's a smart idea. I also think that Trump is being very effective in highlighting the double standards that are involved here. Because, see, at the end of the day, justice isn't just a matter of did you do it. Let's say, for example, that the Trump campaign did have a technical violation. They did use campaign funds to pay off this woman. Wait a minute. These campaign finance violations are very common. The Obama campaign was fined for campaign irregularities. This has happened, of course, many times in the past. In my own case, for example, I got pursued by the federal government for a technical campaign finance violation. Here's Rosie O'Donnell a few weeks ago confessing to 5 consecutive campaign finance violations. In theory, there are 5 U.S. attorneys who could file charges against her tomorrow, but not one has even mentioned doing it. Why? Because in general, these cases, when there's absent corruption, they're not pursued in that way.
Just want to get your take on what we see happening with 70 days to go before the midterm election. So the Gillum victory in Florida, another proud cheerleading socialist. Do you see candidates like Gillum backfiring on the Democrats, or are we to be concerned about a move hard left in response to Trump angst?
Well, I certainly do think it is a midterm, and I do think that there's a lot of anti-Trump energy out there. Now, that anti-Trump energy isn't necessarily socialist. It is the energy of people who say things like, we want, a kinder, gentler America. We want the sort of cordial civility of the Reagan era back. And, there are a lot of Republicans who feel this way also. But I don't think that this notion of appointing sort of extreme left-wingers is going to pay off. In fact, I think it might mirror what conservatives were doing a few years ago, nominating candidates in essentially blue states who couldn't possibly win the general election and then taking a beating. So I think that could very well be the fate of the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez crew. Now, she's, of course, in a liberal district and might win, but I think that once you start running statewide on the socialist platform, your hopes are not all that strong.
He is Dinesh D'Souza. Death of a Nation, re-released in theaters this weekend. Go to deathofanationmovie.com. Type in your zip code, and you'll find the theater near you where you can see it. Dinesh, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. European Union leaders deny they're caving in to U.S. pressure. President Trump canceling raises for federal civilian workers. Microsoft pressuring its vendors. Those stories next.
Warning. Property protected by electric fence. Shark sighted in water.
There are a lot of warnings you don't want to miss.
Bridge out.
Especially when it comes to your identity and the personal information on your devices. That's why new LifeLock Identity Theft Protection now adds Norton Security for more protection than ever. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect threats, like your personal info for sale on the dark web. And Norton Security helps protect up to 5 devices from ransomware and other online threats. Plus, if you have a problem, our agents will work to fix it. No one can stop every cyber threat, prevent all identity theft, or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But missing a warning sign...
Warning. Minefield ahead.
...could be dangerous. Join now and get 10% off your first year, plus a $25 Amazon gift card with annual enrollment. Just go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code SMART. Terms apply. New LifeLock with Norton. More detection, more protection.
Canada is racing to beat today's deadline for a new trade agreement with the United States. The EU says the bloc is in exploratory talks with the United States for a transatlantic agreement on tariffs with the Trump administration, but denies the EU is caving in to the president's tough positions. Citing budgetary constraints, President Trump today telling Congress he's canceling a pay raise intended for most civilian employees of the federal government. The scheduled 2019 raises would cost $25 billion. The president says says the nation can't afford that. So the president instead lowered the pay increases to 0. Microsoft is now requiring its contractors to offer family leave to offer their U.S. employees a minimum of 12 weeks paid leave to care for a new baby. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Getting your whole family together to do something fun can be tough, and getting them away from technology, the iPhones, the iPads, Fortnite, Xbox, it's almost impossible. But here's what you need to do. Get your whole family together this fall and head out to Go-Bert's Pumpkin Patch. Real family fun is back at Go-Bert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Go-Bert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun. It's a guaranteed great time. Now, if you've ever been, like we have, it's probably become a family tradition each year. If not, what are you waiting for? Get to Go-Bert's Pumpkin Patch and start a new family tradition. There's a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and much more. It's an endless amount of fun for your family. You can pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. There really is something fun for all ages. Go-Bert's Pumpkin Patch in Pingree Grove, Illinois. For directions and more information, go to gobertspunmpkinpatch.com. That's Go-Bert's, Goebberts, pumpkinpatch.com. and harvest some family memories.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. It's that time of year again. Politicians on your TV screen and in your mailbox inundating you with promises they don't intend to keep, while under the influence of their misplaced faith and magical words, the kids head back to college to accrue debt they'll finance into their 40s. Comrade Bernie and the Socialists have re-released their siren song of tuition-free college. They'll make college debt disappear much like Bernie's dutiful wife Jane made an entire college disappear. Of course, that debt will reappear in the form of increased government taking from you to finance schools your children didn't attend and pensions you won't receive. The Socialists are offering a free lunch with you on the menu. Make your own lunch. Not only should you send your kid to a school that promotes free markets, you should apply the fundamental tenet to the financing: work. One way is through income share agreements like Purdue University's Back a Boiler program, where a student's education is paid for up front and paid back through an agreed-upon percentage of his postgraduate income over a defined term. This aligns the interests and responsibilities of both the student and university. Both want the students to get good-paying jobs at companies or in sectors with upward mobility. Let's make financing a college education a teachable moment for the students and the politicians.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Famous Winston Churchill quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
In the words of the great Winston Churchill, if you're not a liberal at 20, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative at 40, you have no brain.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI Resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit automatedsys.com.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
A renewed call for the Justice Department and the FBI to do their jobs. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Because people are angry.
President Trump at a rally in Indiana last night, bringing up Hillary Clinton again.
I mean, look at what she's getting away with, but let's see if she gets away with it. Let's see.
And he said if justice doesn't do its job, he'll get involved, though the president told Bloomberg earlier Attorney General Sessions' job is safe until at least November. The president also called the media his biggest obstacle and the Democrats' biggest ally.
These are just dishonest, terrible people. I'm telling you that. Terrible people.
The president was rallying for a Republican trying to unseat Democratic Senator Joe Donnelly in November. More goodbyes to the late Senator John McCain. After 2 days of tributes in Arizona, it shifts to Washington, where Fox's Rachel Sutherland is live.
Dave, preparations are underway at the U.S. Capitol. Senator McCain to Lion State in the Rotunda. His flag-draped casket will be placed on a platform that was built for President Abraham Lincoln. The senator's remains were flown here to Washington after a memorial service yesterday in Phoenix. Former Vice President Joe Biden delivered a eulogy.
In order to survive, we have to remember how they lived, not how they died.
A funeral will be held tomorrow at Washington National Cathedral before final burial Sunday at the Naval Academy. Dave?
Rachel, they'll say a final goodbye to Aretha Franklin in Detroit. The morning after that free tribute concert last night, Stevie Wonder will be among those performing today. At the singer's funeral, former President Clinton will be among those speaking. It may have been a blown tire that caused the truck to crash into a Greyhound bus head-on in New Mexico yesterday, killing 7 people. 9 passengers were injured.
People trying to climb out of the windows of the bus. There was people on scene that were bystanders that were trying to help. People getting ladders out of their truck to get up to the windows.
Part of the bus was torn off. The truck's trailer was shredded. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunrise in Chicago, 60 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 3 are in stable condition at this hour following a blaze that broke out on Chicago's west side early this morning. It happened in an apartment building near Kedzie and Augusta. Those flames spread to 2 other buildings. At least 20 are left without a home. A woman is dead after falling into Lake Michigan on Chicago's south side. Chicago Fire Department tells us the victim fell in this morning in the 3900 block of South Lakeshore Drive. Fire crews were able to pull her out of the water, and she was hospitalized for a time where later she was pronounced dead. 10 workers are recovering following an explosion at a water treatment plant on Chicago's far south side. 2 of the victims had to be rescued from the rubble, including the husband of Kathy Kassane.
The only thing he remembers is seeing a flash and then hearing a big boom, and then he was trapped.
Fire officials believe the blast may have been caused by a natural buildup of methane gas. Funeral arrangements are set for 6 of the 10 children who died in a fire this past weekend in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. 3 students are recovering after they were burned by a chemical cleaning solution at Whitney Young High School in Chicago. The victims sprayed one another with that cleaning solution. And the Joliet Diocese is agreeing to pay $1.4 million to settle a lawsuit filed by 3 men who claim they were sexually abused by a priest as children. The suit claims the Reverend Leonardo Mateo sexually assaulted the man on various occasions in the early 1980s. In this case, the diocese does not have to admit any wrongdoing for allowing Mateo to serve at Immaculate Conception Parish in Elmhurst, where much of the alleged abuse took place. Cubs edge the Braves in a makeup game 5-4. Red Sox over the White Sox 9-4. Bears finish up the NFL preseason with a 28-27 loss to the Bills. And Northwestern kicked off the Big Ten football season with a win over Purdue, 31-27. The news service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Use your power to cure and pedal with a purpose at Spin for Crohn's and Colitis Cures. Grab some friends to join you for this high-energy indoor cycling event benefiting the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Visit spin4.org to learn more. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity explains why the media is so interested in the Manafort case.
Why are all these news organizations so involved? But only for one reason. Paul Manafort worked for Donald Trump for about 100 days as his campaign manager. That's it. This has nothing to do with the campaign. Nothing. Not one thing to do with the 2016 campaign.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. The last chance to find an incredible deal on the cars, trucks, and SUVs that make summer go right. Simply stop by a local Ford dealer or shop online at buyfordnow.com. Because the time to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event ends soon. And so do these amazing offers. The Ford Summer Sales Event is in its final days. That means it's the last chance to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by your local Ford dealer and find great offers on many Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. With leading driver assist technologies, it's easy to see why Ford is the brand more drivers buy and buy again. Look for yourself. But hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event ends September 4th, 2018. To find out more, head to buyfordnow.com or stop by your local Ford dealer. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Heavy delays on the Stevenson Expressway around Lamont Road. Crashes in both directions have things blocked on the left shoulder now. This is near Lamont Road, actually just northeast of Lamont Road. Heavy travel time, 58 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, 32 from the Tri-State. Outbound, an hour and 5 minutes to 3:55. Edens, 26 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Eastbound Spur, it's slow going from the Tri-State to Waukegan Road. Kennedy, inbound delays start at Cumberland. 46 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 28 from Montrose, 25 in the Express. Outbound 32 to the airport. About Eisenhower. 49 minutes, 390 to downtown. 33 from Manheim. Outbound 37 to 390. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to the Loop. Lakeshore Drive, slow Belmont to North Avenue on the southbound side, and heavy Randolph to Monroe. Northbound Jan Balbo to Monroe. Northbound Tri-State, stop and go from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Way, from the Reagan Tollway moves to at Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial tight, 75th at the Reagan Tollway. Southbound 53, Kirchhoff to Higgins. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Increasing clouds today with a high 80, then a mostly cloudy night, low 71. Humid day tomorrow, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 84. Showers and a thunderstorm mainly early at night, low 70. Then a shower or thunderstorm around again Sunday, high 86. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have 61 degrees at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the truth of the foreclosure crisis. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and the eulogies have been offered, and I will remember everything that Arizona Cardinals great Larry Fitzgerald had to say about John McCain, and nothing what the Assembly of Politicians had to say. Larry Fitzgerald was a personal, thoughtful note that he struck, and I really enjoyed his comments about McCain.
He ran for president. I run out of bounds. He was the epitome of toughness, and I do everything I can to avoid contact. I have flowing locks, and well, he didn't. How does this unlikely pair become friends? I've asked myself the same question. But do you know what the answer is? That's just who he is. Over the several years, I had the privilege of spending time with Senator McCain. Sometimes it was just a visit to our practices. Other times it was him texting and saying, "Oh, you need to pick it up this Sunday." I'm thankful that through these moments, the opportunity that we had to share our lives, and more importantly, our stories. While from very different worlds, we developed a meaningful friendship.
And Larry Fitzgerald actually went to Vietnam, to the prisoner of war camp, to see where John McCain had survived all those years and where he gained his perseverance and strength to continue.
That's a cool friendship, and that's what a service like that should be about. It shouldn't be about preening politicians trying to score political points like Biden. Oh, it's just insufferable. For more on this and other topics, we're pleased to be joined again by Bret Baier, Fox News anchor. Special report, 5 p.m. weekdays, Chicago time. And also the book, 3 Days in Moscow, Ronald Reagan and the Fall of the Soviet Empire. Bret had to show up for work today because Chuck Todd told him to. Bret, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So do you think Larry Fitzgerald is a friend of mine too, and he
oh, cool.
We play golf together on some charity events, and he is salt of the earth. I mean, I don't think you could get a better guy and a total stud. So that was great to see.
Yeah, that was very cool. So Bret, Chuck Todd said there's a big bombshell coming today, or if one is going to come, is really, I think, what he was saying. It's going to be today because then you're at the Labor Day to November 6th Election Day window, and so Mueller is going to go silent with any new developments in that window so as to not be perceived as trying to influence the election. Anything that you're hearing of a new development with the Mueller investigation?
No, I don't know what Chuck's hearing, but we're not hearing much movement today. Listen, I'd be surprised if they do it. It's really going to be interesting to see. I mean, you're within the 70-day window already for the election. So, I think there's a real sensitivity, especially after all that happened with Jim Comey, to do anything that is perceived to affect any election. And if I had to put my money down, not knowing what Chuck Todd knows, I think I would say he waits till after the election.
Yeah, so he has either today and then to wait till after the election, right? There's no...
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'd be surprised if it's today, but maybe it is.
Trump in Indiana yesterday, of course, part of the important part of the campaign trail with a good possibility to pick up a Senate seat there. Interesting comments about justice and FBI, suggesting that he is going to get involved, essentially take a more personal role in the operation of the FBI and the Department of Justice if they don't get their act together. And this is something that I think people thought he should have done a long time ago, but there seems to be a hesitancy to do it because you don't want to be perceived as trying to obstruct justice, and those calls are inevitably going to come if he makes personnel moves or takes a more important role. But I think the president has a case to make that the FBI and the DOJ, because of the conduct of their senior leadership, has lost a lot of legitimacy. He mentioned that when he said people are angry, and those are important agencies. Their integrity is important. It needs to be restored, and that's why I'm getting involved. It seems like he could make that case.
He could. The people that are angry, the primary one is him.
Yes,
yes. He's talked about it like that before, but we're hearing that as soon as next week, the president could, declassify those redacted documents FISA documents that Devin Nunes has wanted to get unredacted. And I think that on the outskirts is some way where he actually acts, and it is within his purview to declassify anything he wants to declassify.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's calls for that for a long time. And so you think maybe yesterday in Evansville it was telegraphing what he's planning to do?
Yeah, I think September 6th or 7th, that's going to come to a head.
Interesting.
What do you think is going to be in those documents?
Well, see, that's the big question. Why are they redacted? Who knows? You could be getting into what the IG apparently is looking into, and that is the early parts of the Trump-Russia probe and how that FISA warrant initially was received, not only by the dossier, but by using press reports that they had essentially leaked to the press, and then using those as parts of the case in the FISA warrant to tap the Trump folks.
John Fund has a piece on your station's website, foxnews.com, sort of previewing the general election, saying the upset in Florida with Gillum winning the Democrat nomination means it's going to be Trump versus the loony left in November. What's the handle on the Hill with respect to Republicans? Do they want to go up against the Gillums of the world, and do they think they have a better chance against a self-avowed socialist, the Ocasio-Cortez crowd? Or because there's so much energy there, would they rather have sort of milquetoast Democrats who aren't generating enthusiasm within their ranks?
I think they'd rather have the former because, you can run an effective campaign where you get independents and maybe moderate Democrats who are not signing on to all of those policies that the Democratic Socialists list, but they also don't particularly like President Trump for one reason or another. And if you're talking about substance and policy, how to pay for things and abolishing ICE, it's a fairly easy case to make policy-wise.
Now, earlier this week, Representative Ron DeSantis was on your network and talking about Andrew Gillum and his social policies and said, we hope he doesn't monkey this up. New poll out this morning shows, from Public Policy polls, shows DeSantis trailing Gillum by 5 percentage points. Do you think what he said on your station had an effect on this poll?
I don't know. Clearly, this race is going to go to 11 at the beginning. I think, I'm with the crowd that gives him the benefit of the doubt at the first part, and if he proves himself wrong, then you call him out. I think it was Gillum weighed in right away later on our channel on Shepard Smith's show, and we'll cover the race fairly. I would hate for it to go into that place, and I doubt it goes down to that gutter level, but it could because this is a big race.
Also, just previewing post-Labor Day activities, the Kavanaugh confirmation hearing, do you sense that the Democrats are going to have anything more to offer in opposition than sort of their standard issue dog and donkey show?
I'm sure that they have a couple of tricks up their sleeves as far as what's in the documents that they've received. I mean, they've now received more documents on Kavanaugh than any other Supreme Court nominee in the history of our republic. And so I'm sure in the hundreds of thousands of pages, there's probably a couple of nuggets there that'll be interesting or create a splash. But barring a huge aha moment, you just don't have the votes. And if you count the heads up there, you could have 2 or 3 Democrats, red state Democrats, who vote for Kavanaugh. So it's a real problem you're already seeing Chuck Schumer take it on the chin for agreeing to move forward with some of these judicial nominees and a deal with McConnell. Progressives are getting mad.
He is Bret Baier, Fox News anchor, special report, 5 p.m. Chicago time, weekdays. The book, 3 Days in Moscow, Ronald Reagan and the Fall of the Soviet Empire. Bret, thanks as always for joining us. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. See you guys.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I haven't had pancakes since the 90s. And we just had some pancakes, and I have food coma.
Yeah. See what you've been missing all these years?
Oh, my gosh. Forecast for today, plenty of sunshine, as you can see, but it's cold out there right now. 64 degrees at O'Hare, 61 degrees downtown, but we are going up to a high of 83 degrees. Your Labor Day weekend looks like this. Saturday, mostly cloudy, warm and humid, showers and thunderstorms on and off, a high of 84. Same for Sunday, a spattering of showers and thunderstorms, a high of 88. And for Labor Day, clouds and sun, a shower or thunderstorm around, a high of 87. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Big Escape Friday. Let's get the latest from Jim Telemonte.
Yeah, Amy, you might want to just stay home and have those pancakes. Can't imagine living without those. If only we could live without roadwork delays. It's slow going on southbound 53 this morning already from Kirchhoff to Higgins. Northbound side of 355 is jammed out into the Reagan Tollway. The Adams Reagan Tollways are fine. Northbound Tri-State, not too bad. The delays are from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. 8 and 26 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound just 20, though. The Kennedy, 46 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 32. Inbound Ike, 48 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound 37. Stevenson, after a crash near Lamont Road, it's 50 minutes. 355 to the drive. Outbound, it's 55 minutes. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive has big roadwork delays. Metro has an early getaway scheduled today. More trains leave downtown early this afternoon, but fewer later. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
4 days left until my kids begin school. Not that I'm looking forward to it or anything. I'm just,
Oh, you're going to miss them, obviously.
Oh, yeah. It'll be hard for the first 5 seconds. So as you know, the school year is underway for many in the suburbs. City CPS starts on Tuesday, and maybe you're already feeling a little uneasy about your child's school or teacher this year. Public schools are changing. If you aren't happy with what your son or daughter is learning in the classroom or on the playground or on the school bus, then maybe it's time to consider a private school. Private schools have never been more affordable thanks to halfpriceschools.com. It's easy. Go to halfpriceschools.com. They've partnered with private schools around the Chicagoland area, Northwest Indiana. Click on that tuition voucher and pay half the regular price. There's no catch. There's still availability at Westminster Christian School in Elgin, St. John's Lutheran School in LaGrange, of course, Christian Liberty Academy in Arlington Heights. The list goes on and on. But do not wait. Don't settle for a public school that isn't right for you and your child. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof? I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you? I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782. Liberty did what? They saved me $782. Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Prestone Coolant is just $12.99 at Napa. Its temperature-controlling formula helps keep your engine cool, or as the kids say, chill. But don't worry, Prestone Coolant won't start calling you dude or crash on your couch. It'll just keep your engine cool for an affordable price, just $12.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 8/31/18.
The following is a paid political announcement.
I lived in Grays Lake, and I have sold and moved out of the state.
Billy V. is a union employee. He left Illinois because he couldn't afford to pay $9,000 a year in property taxes on his $200,000 townhome in Grays Lake. Tony S.'s home in Park Ridge is being liquidated by the government to pay for someone else's pension.
I'm paying between $13,000 and $14,000 a year in property taxes, which is insane. I can't save for my retirement. They're basically stealing my equity from me.
Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, you will not be spared the financial disaster the highest property taxes in the nation inflict. The good news is there's a group of independent candidates who aren't financed by Madigan or Rauner. They're working people taking up our fight to lower your property taxes. They made a life in Illinois, and the hell if they're going to let politicians take it away. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org for information on the candidates leading the revolt. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to hear your neighbors' stories and share your own. SaveYourHomeNow.org libertynow.org isn't just a website, it's a battle cry.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Being successful in business means overcoming enormous obstacles to serve your customers and community. AM 560, The Answer, wants to shine a spotlight on businesses that are thriving. We want to celebrate their success by finding out what makes these businesses unique, successful, and what we can learn from them. We want to know how you built it. Presented by Chicagoland Waterproofing. To tell us how you built it, go to 560theanswer.com/built. That's 560theanswer.com/BUILT. Sponsored by Signature Bank and Ozinga.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
We're back on the radio and getting bigger than ever.
We're the #1 Lincoln dealer in town.
And Chicagoland's first ever Ford Lincoln Superstore, too.
Folks like our great deals, for sure.
Just yesterday, I got attacked by the paparazzi.
Really?
But I think the groupies are the worst.
Groupies?
All the Highland Park groupies we have.
Sure. Right, Al.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Well, I have groupies.
A rich fantasy life is important.
This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. It's that time of year again. Politicians on your TV screen and in your mailbox inundating you with promises they don't intend to keep, while under the influence of their misplaced faith and magical words, the kids head back to college to accrue debt they'll finance into their 40s. Comrade Bernie and the Socialists have re-released their siren song of tuition-free college. They'll make college debt disappear, much like Bernie's dutiful wife Jane made an entire college disappear. Of course, that debt will reappear in the form of increased government taking from you to finance schools your children didn't attend and pensions you won't receive. The Socialists are offering a free lunch with you on the menu. Make your own lunch. Not only should you send your kid to a school that promotes free markets, you should apply the fundamental tenet to the financing: work. One way is through income share agreements like Purdue University's Back a Boiler program, where a student's education is paid for up front and paid back through an agreed-upon percentage of his postgraduate income over a defined term. This aligns the interests and responsibilities of both the student and university. Both want the students to get good-paying jobs at companies or in sectors with upward mobility. Let's make financing a college education a teachable moment for the students and the politicians.
Are you happy with what's looking back at you in the mirror? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we'd like to help you with that smile. Whether you're looking to fix 1 or 2 teeth or a whole smile makeover, we can take care of all your dental needs. We have a beautiful modern facility and a great staff. And most importantly, we love what we do. That's what sets us apart from other offices. Let's face it, a dental office is not everyone's favorite place. Whether you're 2 or 102, we make it fun and enjoyable. We perform all types of dentistry as well. Fillings, root canals, crowns, extractions, dentures, implants. We do most everything right in our office. And for you denture wearers, we have a full in-house denture lab and can perform repairs and relines while you wait. We can also talk about adding implants so your denture will snap into place or become screw retained. This is the closest option to natural teeth. We are conveniently located in Gurnee at the corner of Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. So make today the day you give us a call. 847-244-4000. That's 847-244-4000. Or visit us on the web at GurneeDDS.com. We look forward to seeing you, and remember, second opinions are always free. Excellence in dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
AM 560, The Answer.
Time now for another reason why Dan Proft is single.
Yeah, Dan and
Proft
Amy.
this time is going to talk about why Dan Proft is single.
Well, this wedding is interesting. A Trump Organization executive named Brianna Eland,
okay,
getting married to a trust funder from a hotel laundry magnate.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously. Gary Perlson made a fortune doing laundry for Ritchie hotels like the Waldorf Astoria. So
Good
it's great,
for him.
Great about America. You can make $1 million a million ways. His son, Corey Perlson, is the groom in the case.
Yeah.
Ran into a little problem before their nuptials last weekend, when a woman launched an Instagram account filled with shots that she claimed were proof she had an affair with Corey Pearlson, the groom, in the months before the wedding. The woman, who goes by the name Myra Angel, of course she
Okay,
does.
sure, she does.
She's a Vegas bottle waitress.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a bottle? Wait.
What do you mean, what's a bottle waitress? Don't you go clubbing?
I don't go.
You know,
I don't know what a bottle wait. I know what a waitress is.
That's it's.
Don't tell me a waitress that serves bottle.
You've never been on the right side of the velvet ropes, have you? You've always been down with the hoi polloi. Let me tell you, as a velvet rope denizen, the right side of the velvet rope. It's where you have a little group and you get bottle service.
Oh.
So you get a special seating area because you're going to pay $500 for a bottle of Grey Goose.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's bottle service.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's a bottle service.
People that are mad at their
waitress.
money. Right.
All
That's
right.
where you go, to the bottle service area.
If you're not buying property in Illinois,
Zing. So I'm glad the property tax thing has finally taken hold with you. Yeah, so she posted
Myra?
pictures on her account of alleging an affair just hours before the wedding ceremony.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, I feel so bad for Brianna.
Then used the couple's wedding hashtag on her posts and marked them with the geotag of their wedding venue. So, like, she purposefully went after. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, cut that music off.
Wait, so what happened?
Yeah, they were getting married at some castle on Long Island. Oh,
Oh
must
my
be
gosh,
nice.
did they go through with the wedding?
Wait for it. Pearlson, through an attorney, tells Page Six that they did not have a sexual relationship. Meanwhile, Myra Angel has his initial tattooed on her rib cage.
What?
They saw each other. This sort of soap opera here, but somebody who knows Pearlson told Page Six that they saw each other like 3 times. 3 times, and you get an initial tattooed on your rib cage. Yeah, boy.
And what kind of like naughty photos? What were we talking here?
I think they were
engaging in wrestling moves, the half Nelson or the full Nelson.
Honey,
I just need to know.
Honey, it's not what it looks like.
I was just wrestling.
She was choking.
Save her.
Yeah. But the rib cage tattoo is the thing that really bothers me.
Well, that's painful. That's not in a meaty spot where you can, So what happened? Did she leave? Did they get married?
Well, the first thing it got was a restraining order on Myra Angel and her tattoo, and then they did go ahead with the wedding.
How do you think it's going to last?
I think I'd have my head on a swivel looking for Myra Angel every time I leave the home.
I've heard of nastiness and mean women. That is just cruel. And it's another reason why.
Time now for another reason why Dan Proft is single.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
It really is like The Simpsons.
It's the best.
The contract extension of a village manager in Orland Park is a microcosm of everything that's wrong in Illinois at 7:37.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
What a great way to start the long holiday weekend. Sunshine, 61 degrees. And we're watching in Washington this morning. U.S. and Canadian negotiators, they are on the clock. Today is the deadline that President Trump set for an agreement on modernizing the North American Free Trade Agreement. U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer and Canadian Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland burned the midnight oil last night. There is no final deal yet, but one could be coming later this morning. Big crowds are expected in the Capitol as the public pays respect to Senator John McCain. His casket was flown to Joint Base Andrews last night. Secretary of Defense James Mattis was on hand, along with 75-year-old veteran Charles Johnson outside the gates, hoping for a chance to salute the late senator.
I was wanting to be here to honor a hero POW.
Today, McCain will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol building, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell among those making remarks. Several families are still anxiously waiting to hear about passengers who died in a New Mexico bus crash. At least 7 are feared dead after that crash between a Greyhound bus and a semi in northwest New Mexico. Former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick's collusion case against the NFL has been given the green light. An arbitrator denied a request by the NFL to dismiss Kaepernick's complaint. Here in Chicago, 3 are in stable condition following a fire on the west side. It tore through an apartment building this morning near Kedzie and Augusta. 10 workers are recovering following an explosion at a water reclamation district treatment plant on Chicago's far south side. And funeral arrangements are set for this weekend for 6 of the 10 children who died in a fire this past weekend in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. The University of Illinois honors President Obama for ethics in government. University yesterday announced plans to honor the former president next Friday with the Paul Douglas Award, but tickets will not be made available to that event to the public. Cubs over the Braves 5-4. Red Sox topped the White Sox 9-4. Bears fell to the Bills 28-27 at Soldier Field. And the college football season kicks off with a win for Northwestern over Purdue. The news service of Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty when you become a Compassion sponsor. Choose your child now at compassion.com/radio. 7:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains our free press.
Happily, I live in a country which has free speech, free press. Government does not control newspapers, so you get truth. And over the course of my lifetime, and never more than at this very moment, do you realize how they are coordinated ideologically. And it is a brainwash.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee, period.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of U-Store It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of U-Store It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
7:36 and a check of your morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike Kennedy. Inbound delay started Austin. It's now 54 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 42 from Montrose, 38 in the Express. Outbound 12 minutes to Montrose, 37 to the airport. Eden's 20 minutes to Lake Junction. Outbound 26. Inbound Eisenhower. Manheim to 25th and Austin to the Circle. 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 39. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound a much improved 39 minutes. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive is bottled up. Southbound Belmont to North Avenue and Randolph to Monroe. Northbound Balbo to Monroe. Northbound Tri-State delays are from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. From the Reagan Tollway most way to Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial, Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. Southbound 53 Kirchhoff Higgins. Traffic service of Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. You can release a child from poverty, becoming a Compassion sponsor at compassion.com/radio. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunshine this morning gives way to afternoon clouds and a high near 83. Currently 61 degrees. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
I'm Sean from Elmwood Park. I'm in for Joe Walsh all week, if you can believe it. Tune in when Freedom Fights Fabian Socialism at 5 p.m.
Did you say we're going to fight Fabian socialism?
Yeah. All right, Orland Park.
OP.
So, in the let's see, what year is this? This is
It's
2018. So that would have been 2017 spring election, municipal election. I, as a private citizen, I run this PAC, supported this candidate for mayor in Orland Park named Keith Pekow, who is now the mayor of Orland Park. He defeated a 24-year incumbent political hack named Dan McLaughlin.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Remember
Yep.
McLaughlin and the village board, in their infinite wisdom, quadrupled his salary from almost quadrupled from 40 to 150 grand, for the express purpose of tripling his pension.
Oh, so they didn't give him he didn't go from part-time to full-time? That's why they
No, this
tripled
was
his
this
salary
was they tripled his salary. And, I'm taking on more responsibilities. Right. It was 24 years in. It was about tripling his pension from 35 to 110 grand.
Oof.
Which is, so the real play, everybody focused on the salary increase. The real play was the $3.5 million payout, present value pension. Well, because the campaign Pekow ran, crystallizing this issue for Orland Park residents, he pulled a stunning upset. And shows you, if you educate people, you will tend to do the sensible thing. They certainly did in Orland Park. The problem is that it's still the same board. So he inherited the old guy's board, and of course they've largely been obstructionists and wanted to continue doing things the way they've always done them, because these other trustees were forming a kick line right behind McLaughlin. After he gets his big payout, then I'll run for mayor, and then I'll be the mayor, then I'll get my pension spiked, and then the next guy, just continue to hand it off to fleece taxpayers. You think it just happens at the state level? Pay attention to what's happening in your local government. We talk about school boards all the time and school districts. That's priority number one, but your township and village governments too.
How much is Keith Pekow making? Is he?
Well, it's still the same salary, but he is introducing and moving to rescind the salary increase. He's not taking any pension benefits.
Oh, that's nice. That's
so
good.
Yeah, so
that's
he's
responsible and judicious of him.
Yeah, I mean he's not looking to be there for decades. This isn't a career for him. He's a local business guy who never ran for office before, but was galvanized to run because of what this heist that you were trying to pull, and thank goodness he did. So you still have this board though that wants to continue to the kleptocracy game in this state. See how much I can skim for myself from the taxpayers. So brings us to the story of the village manager. The village manager, and this is not a comment on the village manager's performance. I don't know. This is a comment on politics. The village manager is 10 months into a 3-year contract at present. So he got a contract extension for a year from the village board. The only vote against was Mayor Pekow. 1-year contract extension and an increase in his severance from 6 months to 9 months if he's terminated without cause. He's 10 months into a 3-year deal. There's not even been a performance review yet. 10 months in, and he's getting a 1-year contract extension. Who does that? I'm under contract at Salem at AM 560. And guess what? I've got a little ways to go on my contract yet. And nobody is coming to me saying, hey, can we give you an extension? You've so outplayed your contract. We want to give you an extension. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. Not that you asked for it. We're going to also bump your, but we're going to create, I should say, severance pay, and then we're going to extend it for more of a period of time than you would even desire. No, when my contract is nearing expiration, then we'll have a conversation about the possibility of a next contract. That's how it works in the real world, in the private sector. 10 months into a 3-year deal, and the village board is moving to lock him in for another year, increase his severance, and extend his term beyond the end of Keith Pekow's first term to insulate him from personnel changes, I suppose. This is exactly what's wrong with Illinois at every level. This is all about I get to call my shots on somebody else's dime. I will fill in the number on this blank check that I've taken from the taxpayers. That's my job. I will decide how long I'm going to stay and when I desire to leave. The voters, you're not going to tell me. My employer's not going to tell me. My boss isn't going to, define my time in a particular position or at a particular place. Not in government, not in Illinois. I mean, isn't this absurd? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. Oh, and here's the kicker. You know who put this on the board agenda to be voted up by the board?
Who?
The village manager.
Oh, of course.
The village manager puts an item on the agenda to extend the contract of the village manager and to extend the severance pay of the village manager to be voted on by a bunch of people who just vote on things in ideological opposition to Keith Peacock because they're sad that he upset the gravy train that they were on. That's Orland Park. That's a relatively successful upper middle income community. What do you think's going on where people are, struggling and they don't have time to pay attention? Frankly, you don't have a lot of professional people to pay attention in some of these poorer communities. Wasn't the mayor of Fort Heights just arrested recently?
Oh,
yeah. I mean, that's not exactly a unique occurrence. But your job, you get to call your shots. Here's how much I'll make. Here's when I'll work. Here's how long I'm going to stay. I'll let you know when I decide it's my time to leave. I dictate the terms to you at somebody else's expense. Your contract, that people rushing to extend contracts just because they like you so much.
Can Keith Peacock do anything as the mayor?
No, not really. I mean, he can use the bully pulpit. He can make his voice heard. He can vote against these things, but he's outnumbered, and it's a manager form of government. So it's a weak mayor form of government. So he doesn't have, he needs board approval to unwind these things or make executive level personnel changes. I mean, the entitlement culture here, I don't know how to crystallize this in people's minds other than by telling the stories that reflect the reality on the ground. And then you complain about what's happening to your home value. And you complain about the tax burden you bear. And you complain about the lack of economic opportunities. And you complain about crumbling you complain about all of these things. You see all of these things. Why is that, I wonder? Why is this happening? Because of stories like we tell on the show all the time. And this is a prime example. And it also answers the question, why don't, we get better people holding themselves out for public office? Why aren't there more people coming from the private sector with track records of success to take their turn at the wheel of public service, really real public service, municipal leadership at the state level? Look at Peacock's enduring. No good deed goes unpunished. You stop this heist, and you're met now with the same intransigence and the same kleptocratic behavior that you ran against because you still have the same board. So you have another spring election in 2019. There'll be more trustees up. We'll see if people can connect the dots to give Peacock a governing majority on the board so that he can stop the board from essentially blocking the will of the people. I mean, there's a reason they took out a guy who had been their mayor for 24 years, and the board seems to be completely immune to that understanding. One more kicker in this story.
Yeah.
One of the 6 trustees who voted for it, Jim Dodge, your Republican nominee for state treasurer.
Jim Dodge?
Jim Dodge is a Republican candidate for state treasurer. He's also on the board of Orland Park. He voted for this contract extension. He wants to be state treasurer. The money guy.
Oh, yeah.
Jim
That
Dodge.
speaks volumes.
And he was also the campaign manager for the guy the Democrat in office for 24 years, who was beat by Keith Pekow. Not that this is a partisan thing, but Pekow's a conservative. That's the other part of understanding Illinois. Your state treasurer candidate, Republican, votes for this unconscionable contract extension after having run the campaign of the Democrat, plutocrat, political hack against a conservative Republican. Illinois.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up next, a call to boycott In-N-Out Burger. Why and will it help their business? But first, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine right now to begin your holiday weekend. It's cool. We have 61 degrees right now at O'Hare, but it will get warmer, folks. A high of 83 degrees today. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday look pretty much the same. It's going to be mostly cloudy, warm and humid all 3 days. Can't rule out a passing shower or thunderstorm, not a complete washout. Saturday morning, there will be rain, but it'll clear up by the afternoon. A high of 84. Sunday, a high of 88. And on Monday, a high of 87 degrees. Let's get the travel times. Are they high? Here is Jim Talamonte with the answer in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Thanks, Amy Dale. Right now, actually, travel times are not too bad. You can expect a busy afternoon with Labor Day travels and busy weekend. Right now, the Kennedy's somewhat heavy. It's 54 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown. A little quicker than the Express, but outbound is 37 minutes. Elsewhere, it's mostly lighter than usual. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. Eisenhower, 48 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 39. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 39. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive has roadwork delays. Belmont to North Avenue, with Randolph to Monroe, northbound Balbo to Monroe. Northbound Tri-State Kedzie, there's a crash in the left lane. The delays are farther north, though. The Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, the Reagan to most of Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial still Boughton, most of the way to Roosevelt. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
It's back, the MyPillow buy one, get one free offer. And if you haven't bought your MyPillows yet, here's your chance to save big. Even our 45th president mentioned that he sleeps on a MyPillow. Mike Lindell, the MyPillow guy, was at his rally in Fargo, and the president recognized him and endorsed MyPillow on national TV. I love that I can move the fill to get the support I need, regardless of my sleep position. I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. MyPillow is made in America, washable, dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty plus a 60-day full money-back guarantee. So go online or call now for this great BOGO deal. Justin had to tell me what BOGO meant. And others, including 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress toppers I've been telling you about, as well as those amazing pet beds that you can throw in the washer and dryer. Their sheets, the pillowcases, I love it. Find it all at MyPillow.com. And when you check out, please be sure to use Amy in that promo code AMY and save an extra 30%. MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and treat yourself to a great night's sleep.
Picture yourself unemployed for 20, maybe even 30 years. That's what retirement can look like, 20 or 30 years with no paycheck. If that's not fourth and long, consider this. Over 2,000 rules govern Social Security, and there are hundreds of ways to file for it. It's not surprising so many Americans may be getting less Social Security than they've earned. Will you get the most out of your Social Security benefits? Call Jack Tabota at Tabota & Associates. Jack and his team will use time-tested methods to help you maximize your Social Security benefit. Find out your options. Call Jack Jack Taboto at Taboto & Associates. Get the Social Security benefit you've earned. 630-883-4577. That's 630-883-4577. Jack Taboto at Taboto & Associates. 630-883-4577. Taboto & Associates is an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of investment and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. It's that time of year again. Politicians on your TV screen and in your mailbox inundating you with promises they don't intend to keep, while under the influence of their misplaced faith in magical words, the kids head back to college to accrue debt they'll finance into their 40s. Comrade Bernie and the Socialists have re-released their siren song of tuition-free college. They'll make college debt disappear, much like Bernie's dutiful wife Jane made an entire college disappear. Of course, that debt will reappear in the form of increased government taking from you to finance schools your children didn't attend and pensions you won't receive. The Socialists are offering a free lunch with you on the menu. Make your own lunch. Not only should you send your kid to a school that promotes free markets, you should apply the fundamental tenet to the financing: work. One way is through income share agreements like Purdue University's Back a Boiler program, where a student's education is paid for up front and paid back through an agreed-upon percentage of his postgraduate income over a defined term. This aligns the interests and responsibilities of both the student and university. Both want the students to get good-paying jobs at companies or in sectors with upward mobility. Let's make financing a college education a teachable moment for the students and the politicians.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Strong immigration enforcement. You get it. President Trump gets it. But Washington still doesn't get it. In Congress, Joe Donnelly claimed he was, quote, 100% opposed to amnesty. He even promised to, quote, send back any illegal immigrant who commits a crime. But in the Senate, Donnelly changed. He joined liberals like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and voted to give amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. Donnelly even voted for amnesty for criminals, those who'd committed serious crimes, including drunk driving, child abuse, domestic violence, and worse. Call Senator Donnelly at 202-224-4814. Tell him to support increased border enforcement funding in S3109, Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Act 2019. Keep Hoosier families safe. Paid for by One Nation, www.onenationamerica.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about this anecdote that tells you a lot of what you need to know about why Illinois is the worst governed state in the country. Orland Park and the village manager's 1-year contract extension, 10 months into a 3-year deal. Okay.
He must be really good at his job. I mean, he must be a rock star in his profession.
Aaron Rodgers got a 4-year, $134 million deal. I assume the compensation is similar in Orland Park. I have no idea. But that was at the end. He got that at the end of his previous contract. Aaron Rodgers. Wow. Okay. John in Orland Park.
Hey, Dan. I went to our village board meeting earlier this summer. I wanted to remind our trustees that Carson's, which just closed this week, Sears closed, Toys R Us closed, Carson's Furniture closed, besides vacancies in the mall. And then I went throughout town and I listed our major industrial area and commercial, which have no new occupants. And then I was reminding them of all the different strip malls that had vacancies. And I was like, what are we doing? What's our plan? What's our revenue sources? And they kind of said, hey, everything's great. And you wonder what's up. I don't understand our village manager. He already was getting paid an obscene amount of money.
Thanks for the call, John.
I think I should run for trustee, actually. I don't even know.
Spring elections next spring, seriously, people who know better need to step up and demand better. I know it's
when
not
PCAR
fun,
was running,
but
you would talk to the people in town, reasonable, intelligent, conservative people, and you explain to them what's up, why we had to vote for PCAR. Oh, we like Dan. He's a good guy. He's always done well.
Yeah.
And then people were they barely were willing to vote for PCAR, even though they knew it was the right thing to do. That's the problem with conservatives in Illinois.
Thanks for the call, John. Appreciate it. Didn't mean to cut you off. But Mary in Barrington.
Yes, good morning. I had to give you a quick example. Barrington Hills recently approved a salary for a millennial to the tune of $91,000 across the board. It was a unanimous vote.
To do what?
Village manager salaries are escalating out of control, and one of the things that really irritates me as a citizen is that I sit at these meetings and I listen to the quote approval of this individual when no resume was released, no public meeting was held, no personnel committee meeting was held, yet they had over quote 200 candidates apply for this position.
What's the $90,000 for? To do what job?
She's a village administrator.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the call, Mary. I'm telling you, pay attention locally.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Worse, CPS, the Catholic Church, or NBC at 8:08.
And later, Open Your Heart Magic. But first, here's Mike Scott.
3 are hurt in a West Side fire. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
He calls the media his biggest obstacle and the Democrats' biggest ally. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's a dishonest group of people. I will tell you that.
President Trump at a rally in Indiana last night urging the FBI to investigate Hillary Clinton more.
I wanted to stay out, but at some point, if it doesn't straighten out properly, I want them to do their job. I will get involved, and I'll get in there if I have to.
Stumping for a Republican Senate candidate, the president said the Democratic Party's held hostage by left-wing haters and angry mobs.
We want to abolish MS-13. They want to abolish ICE.
Now, one of those speaking out against ICE tactics is a Democratic congressman from Arizona who's getting attention over a tweet. Fox's Evan Brown details it live.
Dave, Arizona Democrat Congressman Ruben Gallegos' tweet said that any government agent who would deport Americans would, in his words, not be safe once the political tides turn. Gallegos' words are being criticized, especially by employees of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They say Gallegos' rhetoric will coerce people to violently act against ICE agents. Gallego would later try clarifying that he meant any U.S. official who would violate the U.S. Constitution would not be immune from being held accountable, Dave.
Evan, in a few hours, more tributes to the late Senator John McCain in Lyon State at the U.S. Capitol.
McCain's casket will rest on a wooden platform called a catafalque, first built for President Abraham Lincoln in 1865. Vice President Pence, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and House Speaker Paul Ryan will speak in a ceremony before the rotunda opens to the public. Thousands are expected to line up to walk past the flag-draped casket.
Fox's Jared Halpern. They're gathering now in Detroit for Aretha Franklin's funeral.
It's just a good occasion. You know, we're not mourning her death. We're celebrating her life.
Stevie Wonder will be among those performing, former President Clinton among those speaking. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine and 62 degrees. 8:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 3 are in stable condition following a fire that blazed through a West Side apartment building near Kedzie and Augusta. Now, the flames, according to Chicago Fire, spread to 2 other buildings and 20 are left without a home. A woman is dead after she fell into Lake Michigan. It happened in the 3900 block of South Lakeshore Drive early this morning. 10 workers are recovering following an explosion at a Metropolitan Water Reclamation District water treatment plant on Chicago's far south side. It happened at the Calumet Water Reclamation Plant. 2 victims had to be rescued from the rubble, including the husband of Kathy Kassane.
The only thing he remembers is seeing a flash and then hearing a big boom, and then he was trapped.
Fire officials do believe the blast may have been caused by a buildup of naturally occurring methane gas. Mayor Emanuel says he's adding more safe passage routes before next week's first day of class for Chicago public school students. The new locations for workers who make sure kids make it to and from school safely leaves the total number at 160 schools across the city. Cubs edge the Braves 5-4. Red Sox over the White Sox 9-4. Bears fell to the Bills at Soldier Field in the NFL preseason 28-27. And the regular season kicks off for the Northwestern Wildcats in the Big Ten, beating Purdue 31-27. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here is Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Coca-Cola is buying a British coffee shop chain, a Starbucks competitor. It is buying Costa and its 4,000 coffee shops for $5.1 billion. It looks like Apple will be launching its new iPhones on September 12th at an event in Cupertino, California, Apple headquarters. The Verge says it's believed Apple will also unveil a new watch, iPad Pro, and phones in unconventional colors. Now that Amazon stock has topped the $2,000 a share milestone, investors are asking when will it become the second company after Apple to be worth $1 trillion in stock market value. With its current number of shares, Amazon would need to rise to more than $2,050 a share. The Dow was down 137 yesterday. NASDAQ dropped 21 and the S&P was down almost 13. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder doesn't let his callers attack without facts.
This is what happens often when people call up and they criticize the show. What you really are criticizing is you don't like my politics. Say so. Say so. Don't tell me, Larry, you generalize, you do this. You be specific. What is it I've done? What is it I've said? We can deal with it. What is it? Please tell me. And I'll correct it.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
You remember a simpler time when family fun was about having fun. It didn't include the kids glued to their tablets or smartphones. Well, real family fun is back at Go-Bert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Go-Bert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun.
This was the most fun day ever. My parents were there, my kids were there. There was a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and there was so much more. I loved it.
It's a family tradition for us to visit Go-Bert's every October. The pumpkins are great, the attractions are fun, and the apple cider donuts are to die for.
Loved it. One price to get in, and almost all the activities were free. My kids had a blast.
Listen to the kids.
My mom loves the homemade caramel apples.
I have to say, the pumpkin cannon is cool.
They got a pumpkin-eating dinosaur. The live giraffe is really cool.
I love the jumping pillow and the Pumpkin Express train ride.
Go-Bert's Pumpkin Patch in Pingree Grove. Pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. GoBert'sPumpkinPatch.com. Harvesting family memories.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. The last chance to find an incredible deal on the cars, trucks, and SUVs that make summer go right. Simply stop by a local Ford dealer or shop online at buyfordnow.com. Because the time to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event ends soon. And so do these amazing offers. The Ford Summer Sales Event is in its final days. That means it's the last chance to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by your local Ford dealer and find great offers on many Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. With leading driver assist technologies, it's easy to see why Ford is the brand more drivers buy and buy again. Look for yourself. But hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event ends September 4th, 2018. To find out more, head to buyfordnow.com or stop by your local Ford dealer. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales.
8:07, and let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy. Inbound delays are between Montrose and the Burns Circle. It's 50 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 40 from Montrose, 38 in the Express. Outbound 11 minutes to Montrose, 39 to the airport. Eastbound Eden Spur, stop and go. Tri-State to Waukegan Road, Eden itself. 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. Inbound Eisenhower, 48 minutes, 390 to downtown, 35 from Manheim, outbound 39 to 390. Stevenson heavier now, at an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. Lakeshore Drive jams southbound Belmont to North Avenue and Randolph to Monroe, northbound Balbo to Monroe. Southbound tri-state delays after the Adams Tollway to Irving Park. Northbound from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. Veterans Memorial slow southbound St. Charles to 22nd. Northbound Mountain to Roosevelt. Southbound 53, Northwest Highway to Higgins. Northwest Indiana's fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, some sunshine giving way to clouds, high 80. Mostly cloudy, warm and humid tonight, low 71. Mainly cloudy, warm and humid tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 84. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
62 and sunshine. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
CPS, the Catholic Church, and NBC News.
Who's more? Wait, what's the question? CPS, Catholic Church, or NBC News?
3 organizations that protect predators.
3 organizations that protect predators. Yeah.
It's not. I mean,
Let's start with NBC.
It's not really funny though, so I don't know if I should be.
Or should we start with NBC?
Karnak. NBC. Ronan Farrow's ex-producer. Ronan Farrow. He broke the Weinstein story. His ex-producers say NBC tried to spike that story.
Oh yeah, 3 days before it was supposed to run or be published, we should say. They called him in. They said, "Well, you don't have enough witnesses. We need witnesses to back up these claims." And he said, "I've interviewed 6 alleged victims and call them that in said article."
You know what?
I mean, honestly.
No, you know what the issue was.
Well, what's the issue?
And this is fair. It's a fair point by NBC.
What?
He didn't have Lanny Davis as a source.
Oh.
You have to have Lanny Davis as a source if you want this thing to run.
It's just unethical of them to try and, squash this story. They're protecting a monster. Harvey Weinstein, he raped people. He ruined he ruined women's careers, because they wouldn't accept his sexual advances. And then some, he didn't even care if they accepted or not. He forced himself upon them. He's sick.
Rich McHugh is the producer in question. 3 days before Ronan and I were going to head to L.A. to interview a woman with a credible rape allegation against Harvey Weinstein, I was ordered to stop, not to interview this woman, and to stand down on the story altogether. That's not an issue of not having sources. That's an issue of saying we don't want to hear from your sources. It's a bit different than how NBC's characterizing it, of course, because they're bailing water now.
Well, NBC News President Noah Oppenheim told the Times that McHugh, quote, was never told to stop in the way he's implying.
How was he told to stop?
That's a decision to not to run Farrow's story. They decided they wanted to make sure that there was enough time to re-interview these ladies, to have a fact checker call them.
Oppenheim says, we repeatedly made it clear to Ronan and Rich McHugh the standard for publication is we need at least one credible on-the-record victim or witness of misconduct. We never met that threshold while Ronan was reporting for us. They went on the record, they just didn't disclose.
Right.
So you can be on the record without disclosing your identity or having your identity disclosed, particularly in a sensitive case like this, for fear of retribution or considering what we now know about Harvey Weinstein, worse.
Well, Farrow ultimately took the story to the New Yorker,
right,
which published that article just a few days after the New York Times published its own investigation into Weinstein. So, but that's at the same time when NBC was, they've been under scrutiny in the wake of the sexual harassment allegations over Matt Lauer and what they did and did not do.
Yeah.
In regards to his victims. One woman passed out in Matt Lauer's office, allegedly, and he had a button that he locked the door.
So what's really going on here? One theory would be NBC knew they were living in a glass house and they didn't want to throw stones.
You don't, yeah. And you don't walk away from such an explosive story as the Harvey Weinstein case. You just don't.
The fourth estate, the check on the powerful, the check on government. Yeah.
Well, Farrow's also writing a book called Catch and Kill about his reporting into the Weinstein case and other men.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Noah Oppenheim washes out of NBC News, I think he'd probably get a front office gig at CPS. Same thing with Pope Francis. I know Tiny Dancer likes the strong, imperious, silent type. So there's, soft places to land for people that run interference for predators. This is happening, obviously, in CPS. And we know, by the way, all of the attention paid to the Catholic Church, and it's deserved. And the questions being asked, all of which are, the questions being asked by, we'll get to in a second, by people like Robbie George, Princeton professor, are legitimate. But we understand from research in this area that the prevalence of sexual predation is even higher in public schools, generally speaking, than in the church. And specifically, because of the Tribune's reporting, we know with some specificity what's been going on at CPS and what's being done about it.
Where are the marches?
Where?
I'm telling you, I talk to parents all the time. They don't know about this, Dan. And the ones that are slowly catching on, they look at me so confused. Wait, what happened? People checked out in the summer, honestly. I don't know if they went to their summer homes in Michigan and Wisconsin and in Utah, but they did not pay attention to this story.
Yeah.
And they don't think it could happen here. It happened at Walter Payton Prep. Then their eyes light up. What? I'm like, yeah, music teacher at Lincoln Elementary, which we play them in sports, Lincoln. Then he left and continued his bad behavior over at Walter Payton Prep. And the girl testified in Springfield. And so did the girl that was allegedly raped by her track coach at Simeon, testified before a panel in Springfield. Well, and we need to play that audio again because people need to hear it.
The important thing, though, is it's like with the street violence. You just have to contain it to areas nobody cares about, to people nobody cares about. If you just contain it to the right victims, the people who we don't pay attention to, the people that unfortunately fall in lockstep with the power structure, then it's fine. I mean, that's the policy of containment, right? That's the policy in Chicago. That's what Eddie Johnson articulated after Lollapalooza weekend. It's contained to 4 of the city's
worst districts.
21 districts, 21 police.
Yeah, so then it's okay.
Contained.
Yeah, so it's fine. We shouldn't worry.
So just contain the sexual abuse to the right schools that people don't care don't care about the education of the kids in those schools, and it'll be fine.
But one of the worst things about the brave young ladies who came forward to talk about, the sexual assaults going on CPS, they made them feel like they caused this because of what they were wearing.
I'm here because of what CPS subjected me to in the months following. I'm here to shed light on the re-traumatizing, intimidating interrogations. I felt like I was the one under investigation.
I am not the person I was before the assault. And I will never be the same as a result of what has been done to me.
And that was the girl from Walter Payton Prep and the girl from Simeon.
Mm-hmm.
They asked them, well, what were you wearing? Well, why did you make him feel like he could approach you in that manner? I mean, all just disgusting behavior.
It's contained.
Oh, yeah, it's contained. Yeah.
Just like the violence is contained. I want to read this missive that our friend Tim King put out. Did you see this from Urban Prep?
No.
The violence is contained. The sexual abuse is contained. Everything's contained. It's under control in Chicago. Whatever you do, don't make a change. Don't change anything. No. I'm writing with some extraordinary sad news, writes Tim King, the founder and CEO of Urban Prep Academies. These are schools, high school African-American men, young men, 100% graduation, 100% college. Mm-hmm. Doing it right.
They wear suits and ties to school every day.
Model that should be scaled.
Yep.
And there are models, by the way, that should be scaled. We just choose not to do it. Urban Prep is a model that should be scaled. Glenwood School for Boys in the south suburbs
is
a model that should be scaled. Northridge Prep And Niles is a model that should be scaled. Midtown is a model that should be scaled. There are models out there, but where we pour all our money into the Soviet-style models that are failures, catastrophic failures. What they don't produce and what they do. What they don't tolerate and what they do. Writes Tim King, now I'm reading from King's letter. I'm writing with some extraordinary sad news. Montavious Dixon, a member of Urban Prep's class of 2017, was shot and killed over the weekend. After graduating from the Bronzeville campus, Mr. Dixon attended the University of Illinois. To date, 26 Urban Prep students, graduates, have been victims of gun violence. 12 resulted in fatalities.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
The violence that we see in Chicago and other parts of the country is incredibly disheartening. While it is, we must not let despair overtake hope. The data show that the work we do at Urban Prep to educate young black men, the work you support, makes a real difference to our students and society. And he's right about that. While we will mourn Mr. Dixon as well as others caught in the crossfire of senseless acts of violence, we will not give in to that sorrow. Please keep Mr. Dixon and all of our young people in your thoughts and prayers. 12 young men from Urban Prep have been gunned down. These are kids that are doing it the right way. They're in a good place, at least with respect to the quality of instruction they're receiving and the education they're earning. 12. Urban Prep's been around for what? 10 years?
Yeah. That's sad.
It's contained. Perry and Niles, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, good morning, everybody. I hope I'm not oversimplifying this, but I've heard of this, we've got to contain. If you have, like, cancer, and once they can contain it, can't they remove it before it starts to spread? So what's the point of having it contained if you could still do nothing about it? That's just a lie.
Yeah. I don't think that's oversimplifying. It's a good way to think about it, Perry. Thanks for the call.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
3-day weekend staring us in the face, and so is that brilliant sunshine. We'll have some high clouds around here later, but it will heat up around here. It is 65 degrees right now at O'Hare, going up to a high today of 83 degrees. Your weekend looks like this: Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're going to have mostly cloudy skies, some sun on Monday, but it's going to be warm and humid all 3 days, and we can't rule out a passing shower or thunderstorm, especially Saturday morning. Showers and thunderstorms around here, then it'll be clear for the rest of the day. Highs, by the way, in the mid to upper 80s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Going to be along Lakeshore Drive this weekend. Keep in mind the long-term construction now in place. The current delays are southbound Belmont to North Avenue, Randolph to Monroe, northbound Balbo to Monroe. The work has mainly been between Monroe and North Avenue in both directions. Tri-State southbound, it's stop and go from the Adams Tollway to Irving Park. Northbound I-57 to Kedzie after a crash. Then from the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. Adams and Reagan Tollways are fine. Veterans Memorial, tight southbound St. Charles to 22nd, northbound Boughton to Roosevelt. Southbound 53 has construction delays, northwest highway to Higgins. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Kennedy, 50 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Eisenhower, 390 to the Circle, just 43 minutes now. Stevenson is an hour and 5 minutes, 3:55 to the Drive. The Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
With the recent rainy weather, Permaseal is working overtime to help homeowners across the Chicagoland area and Northwest Indiana, but they need your help. They are hiring now in all departments: sales, customer service, installation. They're looking for people with great work ethic, who know how to read, who have ambition, a positive attitude, want to learn new skills, and have a desire to make the world a better, drier place. Does this sound like you? Then go to permaseal.net/careers to apply today. No experience is needed. Permaseal will teach you to become an expert in waterproofing and foundation repair. Their experienced team offers great training, year-round work, tremendous growth opportunities, and a great fun work environment. To apply, go to permaseal.net/careers. If you're looking for a career change or a dry basement, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net.
Warning, property protected by electric fence. Sharks sighted in water.
There are a lot of warnings you don't want to miss.
Bridge out.
Especially when it comes to your identity and the personal information on your devices. That's why new LifeLock Identity Theft Protection now adds Norton Security for more protection than ever. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect threats, like your personal info for sale on the dark web. And Norton Security helps protect up to 5 devices from ransomware and other online threats. Plus, if you have a problem, our agents will work to fix it. No one can stop every cyber threat, prevent all identity theft, or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But missing a warning sign,
Warning, minefield ahead.
could be dangerous. Join now and get 10% off your first year, plus a $25 Amazon gift card with annual enrollment. Just go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code SMART. Terms apply. New LifeLock with Norton. More detection, more protection.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The players are fired up. The coaches are prepared for battle. The student section is rumbling. The band is ready to rock. And you're ready for victory.
Touchdown, Northern Illinois!
Every game, every victory is right here on the Husky Sports Network.
Your NIU Huskies take on the Iowa Hawkeyes this Saturday afternoon at 2:30. Catch every minute of the action right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Pat Boone again, and I've never before endorsed a pain relief product of any kind until now, until Relief Factor. My wife is thrilled because of her neck and shoulder pain, and let's face it, almost everybody over 50 has occasional aches and pains due to aging or exercise, and the 3-week quick start is now discounted to only $19.95. It's 100% drug-free, and the majority of people who order it go on to order more. Let's see if we can get you out of pain too. Go to ReliefFactor.com.
Now's the time to soak up that summer sun and spend time with friends and family. Instead of spending that valuable time on home projects, let Home Advisor take them off your plate. Go to HomeAdvisor.com. Tell them what you need. There really is no job too big or too small. I recently wanted to tidy up my place. I went on to Home Advisor to find a cleaning service. Few quick questions. I was matched with the best pros in my area for the job. Prior to booking my appointment online, I was able to read customer reviews of the pros in my area, check their availability. With Home Advisor's Project Cost Guide, you can check what others paid for similar jobs in your area so you know you're getting a fair price. No matter what home project you've been thinking about, installing a new AC unit, new windows, even cleaning up your place like I did, Home Advisor makes it so easy to find and hire the best pros in your area. It's so simple. Find great pros now to handle your job this summer so you can kick back and relax. Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started on your next project. You're going to love these guys. HomeAdvisor.com. That's HomeAdvisor.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Strong immigration enforcement. You get it. President Trump gets it. But Washington still doesn't get it. In Congress, Joe Donnelly claimed he was, quote, 100% opposed to amnesty. He even promised to, quote, send back any illegal immigrant who commits a crime. But in the Senate, Donnelly changed. He joined liberals like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and voted to give amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. Donnelly even voted for amnesty for criminals, those who'd committed serious crimes, including drunk driving, child abuse, domestic violence, and worse. Call Senator Donnelly at 202-224-4814. Tell him to support increased border enforcement funding in S3109, Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Act 2019. Keep Hoosier families safe. Paid for by One Nation, www.onenationamerica.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy here talking about NBC, CPS, Catholic Church. I think you know what they have in common. Glenn in Holland, Michigan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, hi. Thanks for taking my call. Hate to keep on beating this, but every time you guys talk about school and this, that, and the other, I got to call up and I have to say, in the information age where we can speak something into the air and have Google tell us the answer or Khan Academy, you have to think about homeschooling. I homeschool my kids. One is a freshman in high school now, grade-wise. She's already starting college classes. Other one doing great, blah, blah, blah. I'm not Amish, and I'm not religious. I went to school around Chicago. Yeah, we told everybody that this was going on. I was not sexually molested. I know people that were. Nothing has changed. I'm a 50-year-old man. People need to start looking at homeschooling. Because think about this: when the government wouldn't control the borders, people took charge, went down and protected the borders. When healthcare got out of hand, they crowdfunded. When schools are failing, we got to start homeschooling our children.
Yeah, Glenn, it's a fair point, mate. Now, just make sure. I don't want you to suffer the same fate as that mom in Wilmette. Don't let your child walk the dog around the block without you being present.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just terrible.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Glenn, though. It's a fair point, and I like the compare the other examples of voluntary initiative when the state fails, which it almost always does when it comes to big social engineering gambits. And I don't know why it's so difficult for people to internalize the lessons they see before them everywhere.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Open Heart Magic will explain what it is and how you can help.
And then after playing around to golf with Ryan Sandberg, I realized the two of us are a lot alike. I'll explain.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 65 degrees. There will be a ceremony today in Washington honoring the late Senator John McCain. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Speaker Paul Ryan will make remarks at a Capitol Hill event. The Arizona Republican, a decorated war vet, served the Senate for 3 decades. There will be a memorial for McCain at Washington's National Cathedral tomorrow. Some families are still anxiously waiting to hear about passengers who died in a New Mexico bus crash.
As we went by, the overturned semi, everything that was in the trailer was out on the road. It was a disaster.
At least 7 are killed. The Greyhound was carrying 50 at the time. The deadliest wildfire of the summer is now 100% contained. Northern California's Carr Fire burned near Redding, California for more than a month. It scorched 230,000 acres and killed 8. The head of the European Union says it's time for the EU to stop messing around with clocks. European commissioners say they'll hold a debate in September about ending the practice of moving clocks ahead for summer and back for winter. Here in Chicago, 3 are in stable condition following a fire on the west side. The blaze broke out early this morning in an apartment building near Kedzie and Augusta. 10 workers are recovering following an explosion at a water treatment plant on Chicago's far south side. The incident happened yesterday, causing the roof to collapse at the Calumet water reclamation plant. 2 had to be rescued from the rubble. A Chicago man is accused of robbing over $100,000 from a bank last month in the South Lawndale neighborhood. Ivan Parker was indicted on a bank robbery charge tied to the July 27th heist at a Chase Bank. And the University of Illinois will honor President Obama for ethics in government. The university yesterday announced plans to award the former president the Paul Douglas Award for Ethics in Government. The president will receive that honor in private next Friday. Tickets for that event will not be made available to the public. Cubs edged the Braves in a makeup game 5-4 was your final, while the White Sox fell to the Red Sox, 9-4. The Bears led at halftime, and then in the fourth quarter, 27-3, and somehow fell all apart at Soldier Field. Lost to the Bills in the final preseason game, 28-27. College football kickoff for Northwestern. The Wildcats beat Purdue in West Lafayette, 31-27. The news service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 8:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees more and more evidence of a corrupt media.
Oh, ICE arrested a man who was trying to take his pregnant wife to the hospital to give birth. They found out he's wanted for murder. And as soon as they found out he's a murder suspect, the story, it just vanished. If you want an example of a corrupt news media, here it is.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee. Roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois. The following is a paid political announcement.
Illinois property taxes punish the most vulnerable the most, like widow Mary P.
They just keep on going up and up. So that means my mortgage payment goes up, and it's kind of hard. What are they doing for us? Nothing.
66-year-old Chicago resident Linda J. had to take a second job just to pay her property taxes.
Mine is $7,000 a year. If I wasn't still working, I'd be screwed. Even at retirement age, I'm getting my Social Security, but I still have to work, and I'm working 2 jobs.
Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, you will not be spared the financial disaster the highest property taxes in the nation inflict. The good news is there's a group of independent candidates who aren't financed by Madigan or Rauner. They're working people, taking up our fight to lower your property taxes. They made a life in Illinois, and the hell if they're going to let politicians take it away. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org for information on the candidates leading the revolt. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to hear your neighbor's stories and share your own. SaveYourHomeNow.org isn't just a website, it's a battle cry.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
It is 8:35. Let's get a check on the roads. It might actually be a getaway Friday this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Mike, right now, if you're getting away to northwest Indiana or beyond to Michigan, right now it's great. No issues on 8094, the Indiana Toll Road, or I-65. To the north, 94 looks good in southern Wisconsin. And to the west, I-80 looking fine. Same goes for 88. Southbound 53, though, has construction delays from Northwest Highway to Higgins if you're headed to work. Farther south, southbound 355, slow down. St. Charles 22nd, northbound between 75th and Roosevelt. Edens, 19 minutes like Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, bound delays start at Irving Park. 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 34. Eisenhower, 43 minutes, 390 to the Circle, outbound 36. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's fine outbound. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, sunshine gives way to afternoon clouds, a high of 83. Kickoff for high school football tonight. We'll have cloudy conditions, warm and more humid, especially over last Friday when it was raining in 60. 71 for your overnight low, high 84 with a thunderstorm tomorrow. 65 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We do things on this show that most radio talk show hosts are afraid to try.
And what's that?
Some radio verite, skits, singing.
We do sing. We sing beautifully, by the way.
Amy's obviously known for her kind of Jackie Mason-esque ethnic-focused comedy.
Stop it.
And
I talk Italian sometimes.
But we've never done this, so we're breaking down another wall here. We're going to do magic on the radio.
It's a great radio bit.
I mean, you're going to have to trust us, I suppose. Ed Barry is a volunteer for Open Heart Magic. He's been a volunteer there for 12 years. He started Magic Palooza.
See what he did there? Not Lollapalooza. Magic Palooza.
I do see, yeah. In 2013, so 5 years ago, in the hopes to recruit more volunteers to this unique organization and the purpose behind their magic. He's got an event coming up on September 14th at 115 Bourbon Street down there in Marionette Park. So, get a little sauced while you enjoy some magic. It makes magic that much more fun.
Yeah, but here he is to explain exactly what Open Heart Magic is and who they help.
All right, Ed Barry, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
So,
so what's your first trick that you're going to do for us? Are you going to make Dan disappear?
Yeah.
My co-host?
I get in trouble for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, Ed, tell us about Open Heart Magic and the charitable work that you do through magic.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So, Open Heart Magic, we have 184 volunteer magicians. We partnered up with 13 different children's hospitals. What we do is we try to empower young patients who are experiencing like intense stress, fear, and sadness due to serious illness. And our volunteers reach kids in pediatric intensive care, oncology, isolation, the burn units, and the emergency rooms. One of our biggest undertakings recently was going into isolation wards and learning how to do magic with gloves and masks and the gowns on.
Well,
which is
yeah, that's got to be. Well, I mean, so you perform magic skits in front of the kids to bring some levity and laughter and happiness to their lives, but you also teach them how to do the tricks, right? So they can turn around and show their parents what they learned.
Yes, we do. We do bedside magic. It's one-on-one, and as we do a number of tricks for the kids, we usually spend anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes in the room. Then we teach the kids to do tricks so that they can in turn do them to the doctors and nurses, and it gives them a sense of empowerment, and it's pretty cool. It's a cool thing to see the smiles and the laughter that you can bring into the room.
Now,
in a time like that.
Now, is this just an avocation, or do you do weddings and bar mitzvahs as well?
No, that's all I do is the children's hospitals. We do have some of our magicians are professionals. They do it for a living. They're very good at it, but the majority of us just do it in the children's hospitals.
So why did you choose this charity over it? There's so many different ways to help children and people in your community, but what was it about Open Heart Magic that you wanted to be a part of?
Well, I'd attempted to get into Hope Children's Hospital down on the south side for a while, and you really have to be part of an organization to do this. And I ran into a guy that was doing magic one night, and he told me that they were trying to get magicians on the south side to go into Hope Children's down in Oak Lawn. And I thought, well, I'd love to do it, but I don't know anything about magic. I hadn't done anything, but they do a 12-week course. They teach you everything you need to know. They teach you hospital protocol, everything. So it was an amazing experience, and I haven't looked back. It's been 12 years, and I will love it.
And by the end of that 12-week course, I mean, you're at least as good as Chris Angel, right?
Oh, absolutely. Even better. So.
Do they teach you how to juggle or make? Well, I'm just asking in case I want to
juggle.
No,
we're talking about
juggling. No, clown acts.
This is like balloons. This is like make the Statue of Liberty disappear.
Okay,
this is like we want David Blaine magic. You don't understand what kids want today.
Okay.
This is not like the rabbit out of a hat.
All right, well, what's your favorite trick, Ed?
You have to be suspended in a glass box for like 100 days.
Well, a lot of my favorite tricks are we do a lot of card magic. And there's one called Red Hot Mama where the cards change colors while the kids are holding them in their hands.
Oh, see, that is so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and the kids are amazed by it, and it's amazing when you walk into a room and it's pretty quiet, it's sad, and I did walk into one room where the parents were like, no, we don't want to see any magic, and the little girl was like, well, I'd like to see some. And by the time I was done, they were all laughing and giggling. And that father caught me before I left the hospital and asked me if he could join.
Oh,
nice.
Which he ended up doing.
So, what's this event coming up on September 14th at 115 Bourbon Street? And is there a 2-drink minimum?
No, it's It's Magicpalooza, and it's $40. It's open bar, great food, raffles, baskets, close-up magic. It's kind of a recruitment party too. It's not only a fundraiser where we try to recruit magicians for the charity. So it's September 14th from 7:30 to 11:30. It's a great night. We have a great band. One of the Maggie Speaks bands will be there.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Dan, do you want to come? I could buy you a ticket.
You know, I got a Blackstone Magic set as a kid.
Bring it.
Yeah, but
No, that'd be great.
yeah, I guess I was obviously, like most magicians, lonely. And so, but
An audience of none.
but
Well, your fake family and your fake friends in the audience there?
it never took. Yeah, it never took. But it is pretty fun. The card tricks is fun. That's always fun. I can impress the guys at my friendly poker game, monthly poker game.
That's right.
And so what do you do professionally, Ed?
I work for the Board of Auctions downtown. And,
Oh, great.
I work on a training floor.
Oh, so you make money disappear during the day, and then
I'm good at that.
all right. So for more information on Open Heart Magic, is there a website people can go to as well?
Yes, openheartmagic.org.
Okay, openheartmagic.org is the website. Get all the information. This recruitment day event, $40, all you can eat, drink, and be merry. 115 Bourbon Street in Marionette Park. Of course, that's a landmark. That's September 14th, and it runs from when to when on the 14th?
7:30 to 11:30.
All right, 7:30, 11:30. All right, great.
I will see you there. I will be there.
Great.
Oh, good. Oh, you're going to be a magician?
Sure.
Oh, I can't wait to see if Amy can learn magic. That should be very
We'll teach you
interesting.
some magic that night.
That's worth the price of admission alone, watching Amy try to learn magic tricks. Ed Barry, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate learning about Open Heart Magic. Thanks for the work you do for those kids.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. And
Appreciate it.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Ed Barry's daughter changed my life.
How's that?
His daughter is Coach Barry at Blaine. She's since moved on to a different school. Excellent math teacher. Kids loved her, and she was a great coach, and she taught me how to coach, and I love her. I love you, Bridget.
Does Bridget Barry want to take credit for teaching you how to coach? You ever think
Yes.
of that? You ever think about it from her
because
perspective?
she left, and I took their team to the playoffs, and we won. Okay.
Yeah.
She's an excellent volleyball player.
I'm just thinking about you learning a magic trick.
I could learn a magic trick. It's probably going to be bad, but I could try.
It's going to be
You
like...
know what? I'm going to come back from that event, and I'll have a card trick
All right.
for you.
It's going to be like watching a dog learn how to ride a bike.
But it can be done. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Dan Proft's special moment with Rhino. But first, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine, as you can see, and it is going to warm up around here. 65 degrees right now at O'Hare, going up to a high of 83 degrees. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday look mostly cloudy all 3 days. It's going to be warm, humid, but we can't rule out a passing shower or thunderstorms. On Saturday, that shower is going to come around 9 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, it will be mostly cloudy during the day, a high of 84. Sunday, a high of 88. And Monday, Labor Day, a high of 87 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. As we head into the holiday weekend, things aren't too bad on most of the expressways. Kennedy inbound, your delays are from Irving Park to Washington. It's 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 32 from Montrose, 30 in the express. Outbound 10 minutes to Montrose, 34 to the airport. The Edens is delay-free, but eastbound spurs bumper to bumper from the Tri-State to Waukegan Road. The Eisenhower, delays start at 25th inbound. It's 43 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 36. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 5 to 34. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Now, Lakeshore Drive, due to that road work, it's heavy southbound Belmont to North Avenue and Wacker to Monroe. Northbound J.M. Roosevelt to Monroe. Southbound Tri-State Slope, the Adams Tollway to Irving Park. Northbound from the Stevenson to the 31st. The Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial tight between 75th and Roosevelt. Southbound 53 Northwest Highway to Higgins. Northwest Indiana's fine. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. It's that time of year again. Politicians on your TV screen and in your mailbox inundating you with promises they don't intend to keep, while under the influence of their misplaced faith in magical words, the kids head back to college to accrue debt they'll finance into their 40s. Comrade Bernie and the Socialists have re-released their siren song of tuition-free college. They'll make college debt disappear, much like Bernie's dutiful wife Jane made an entire college disappear. Of course, that debt will reappear in the form of increased government taking from you to finance schools your children didn't attend and pensions you won't receive. The Socialists are offering a free lunch with you on the menu. Make your own lunch. Not only should you send your kid to a school that promotes free markets, you should apply the fundamental tenet to the financing: work. One way is through income share agreements like Purdue University's Back a Boiler program, where a student's education is paid for up front and paid back through an agreed-upon percentage of his postgraduate income over a defined term. This aligns the interests and responsibilities of both the student and university. Both want the students to get good-paying jobs at companies or in sectors with upward mobility. Let's make financing a college education a teachable moment for the students and the politicians.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints in the spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
People have long associated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create a better world. We want to help you build your business so you can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, haul raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
Chicago has long been a hub of architectural innovation, and the future of Chicago building isn't stopping anytime soon. At Ozinga, we believe it's important to continue pushing the boundaries of the construction industry, but it can't be accomplished alone. Let's build this city with ingenuity, sustainability, and with heart. But more importantly, let's build this city together.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility. You need to keep your personnel safe and meet OSHA requirements. One problem with your ladders, platforms, or safety guards, and you could be facing costly fines. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to keep your employees safe.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. I love to barbecue, but there's nothing worse than running out of propane in the midst of cooking. It's all about being prepared, and that's how we look at your retirement planning.
Absolutely. That's why our whole team at Wealth Management Group is fired up about helping you be ready.
Tune in each week as we discuss practical ways to be ready for your retirement.
Find us at investwithwmg.com and pick Wealth Management Group to be your +1 this summer. Listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
AM 560, The Answer.
So I understand that my meal ticket is making his debut today.
Well, no, they had one game. They're already.
Oh, right, yeah, Peyton.
They beat Roberto Clemente 28-zip.
That wasn't fair.
What do you mean it wasn't fair? Well, they were playing they didn't have much of a bench, so all their players were playing offense and defense, and it was about 104 degrees on the field. And I said they're going to get gassed quickly because their team's playing both offense.
Why don't you coach football? I could see you like being like Goldie Hawn in Wildcats.
No, I'm all right. Coach Olson does a great job, but he has plowed through 4 clipboards already.
Yeah, I can understand.
He gets upset and breaks them over his knees, and then there's an assistant there handing him another clipboard. But it's all right. I don't care that he's tough on him. I love that he is.
Absolutely.
I don't want anybody, walking over any coaches. That's for sure. But yeah, today we play Orr High School at Orr. That's fun. And then we play Urban Prep. One of the days in October we'll be playing them.
We'll keep track of that. I gotta share the story. I had opportunity.
Hoity-toity.
Well, I had the opportunity. I mean,
big star.
Yeah.
No, tell us about it.
Not big.
Well, you're a star.
Well,
because you did something that many
you.
people would love to do, and that is spend time with Ryan Sandberg.
I played golf yesterday, and he's a really good player. Really good player. So it was fun to play with him, and super nice guy too. He's understated, but if you engage him on a topic with golf or whatever, he's very forthcoming, very friendly. And, as I'm talking to him and playing golf with him over the course of the day, I realized how much we have in common.
Oh, is he a conservative too?
Well, it's not.
Is the left wrong again?
Not so much politically, but I mean, really, when you remove like the talent and his Hall of Fame accomplishments and his congeniality and his lovely family and his leadership skills,
wow.
I mean, it's like we're the same guy.
Oh, okay. Really?
If you just kind of set all that aside. But it was funny, the group behind us, one of the guys talked to me after the round, and he's like, what was Rhino like, and how did he play and all that. And I think he shot 78. I mean, he's a good player.
Wow. How did you do? Did you embarrass the family, Dan?
I mean, I suck. I can't hit a green. My iron play is so bad.
Well, can you get new irons?
I sought solace from Rhino.
Can you putt from the fairway to get onto the green?
Well,
it might be more of a solid shot.
Yeah, it's tough to putt from 1150, 180, 200 yards.
But you can do it.
Well, thanks for your golf tips, though.
Well,
so I shot 84, but I didn't hit it. I didn't hit any greens basically.
It's okay.
I was scrapping around.
But once you got on the green, how was
your
putting?
Doesn't matter. It's about Rhino. It's not about me.
So what did you learn? Did you do anything about his politics? Anything you want to share?
No, we just we talked a little bit about like the little Daniel Murphy controversy and some of the things, and how he handled well. The fun thing actually was how much he's enjoying what he's doing now with the Cubs, as being an ambassador of the Cubs and doing some of the media work. He's enjoying it, and also too, he was in Phoenix most of the time during most of his playing career. But he's got 5 kids. He's got 9 grandkids. And
kind of like you. You guys are really a lot alike.
Well, mine are fictional, right? But I mean, that's distinction without a difference, really. But most of them are in the Midwest. Some are in Chicago, so it's and so it's just convenient to be around the family stuff. But he's really a super guy. It was a lot of fun to spend time with him. The funny thing, the guys playing behind us, I was mentioning. After the round, talking to one of them who was asking me about it, and he said, "Yeah, I got there. I didn't even know that Sandberg was in your group, but." The member who brought me out as a guest told me, "Hey, guys, make sure we don't hit into that group in front of us. There's a Hall of Famer in that group." If it was just me and some, regular Jamoke guests, you can hit into us. But not with Rhino with you. You got to protect Rhino.
So did you seal the deal for possible other golf outings? Did you share a cart together? Or
we walked.
You guys walked?
Of course.
Oh, wait, I forgot the most important question. How are his hair plugs?
He had a hat on. I don't know.
Oh, you didn't want to.
Couldn't really tell. I thought that was a little, too personal on a first date.
I'll be like, hey, what's
maybe if he has me out at Shore Acres, we'll talk about hair.
Oh, now you know what you're getting at.
Oh, this is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you, though.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Building owners and managers. Now is the perfect time of year for a service and maintenance agreement with Waukegan